Chapter 10:25. Once again, Luli took out the bottle of the Slayer's blood. A moment later, he saw the long-lost scene in his mind. The setting sun was like blood. The young man's hair was white. Demons swarmed toward him like a swarm of ants. The Slayer walked over with his saber in hand. Every time he swung his saber, several demons would be killed. His moves were so graceful, so casual, as if he were swinging his hand to chase away mosquitoes. Every time he swung his saber, Xian-Qi in heaven and earth would be attracted to the demons. The demons could not run away. They could only watch as the saber came at them, and then they would be cut into halves. Lu Li's breaths were getting shorter, and his eyes were getting redder. His blood was tumbling. He forced the stopper back, and closed his eyes to breathe heavily. The evil spirit in the Slayer's blood was too strong. Even though he had made some progress, he could not stand it for long. In the old days, Luli would have fallen asleep to let his soul recover. But this time, he did not sleep. He merely closed his eyes for the time for one incense stick to burn. Then, he began to cultivate and began to study the Slayer's move using the transcendent state. God of Barbarians said. He once used the Slayer's move, which meant that he had some understanding of the Slayer's move. Or, there was a trace of the Slayer's move left in his body. If Luli could find a suitable point, he could push open the door and learn the Slayer's move. Luli's mind was still imprinted with that scene. Therefore, this was the best time to study the Slayer's move. Though his soul was exhausted, he forced himself to use the transcendent state. His soul entered a world of complete darkness and absolute tranquility. In this state, he felt his mind was working better. There was something he could not quite put into words. The scene of the Slayer's move was vivid in his mind. He could sense every detail of the Slayer's moves and all the unusual movements in the space around him. Nice. Luli was excited. The tiredness in his soul was gone. He forgot about everything else and began to focus on the Slayer's move. 5 days later, Luli opened his eyes. He was confused. After comprehending for 5 days, he didn't gain much. He seemed to have grasped something, but he couldn't figure it out. His soul was exhausted to the extreme, and he had no choice but to fall into a deep sleep. Sleep was the best medicine to cure a weak soul. He woke up after a day of sleep. This time, he did not hurry to cultivate. He walked out of the wicked bead and washed up. He checked with psychic power and found that Jiang Qiling was not cultivating. Instead, Bai Qiuxue and Bai Xiaoshuang were cultivating. Shuang this girl, Luli was surprised. Bai Xiaoshuang had never been fond of cultivation. The prison of wood had been bustling with activity recently. Why didn't she go and have fun? This was truly unprecedented. He saw Jiang Qiling sitting on the balcony alone, lost in her thoughts. He thought about it and walked out. He told the servants to prepare some dishes and then walked to the balcony. Jiang Qiling was at the middle stage of the Earth Immortal realm, which was impressive. But when Luli walked to the balcony, she was still in a daze. Luli was confused. He walked behind her and hugged her. What? Jiang Qiling came back to her senses. A glint of coldness rose in her eyes. Then, she came back to her senses. Looking at Luli with pleasant surprise, she said, "Darling, you have finished cultivation." Luli kissed her neck gently and asked softly, "What happened? You are sitting here by yourself, in a daze." "Nothing." Jiang Qiling smiled. "I just hit a bottleneck in cultivation. I am upset." "Ha ha." Luli smiled but said nothing. Several maids quickly brought over a table of dishes and wine. Luli poured 2 goblets of wine and handed one to Jiang Qiling. "We have been husband and wife for many years. We know each other. There is nothing to hide. What can't be dealt with? Just leave it to me." Jiang Qiling forced a smile and shook her head. "I know I can't lie to you. There is something. Jiang Hua has done something wrong. I don't know how to tell you." "Father-in-law." Luli was surprised. Jiang Hua used to be the family patriarch of the Jiang family. He had always been able to see the big picture. How could he do something wrong to put Jiang Qiling in a difficult position? It's about the woman, Jiang Qiling said with embarrassment. After a moment of silence, she still found it difficult to speak. Lu Li took her hand and walked to the table. He filled her a bowl of soup and drank some for himself. Then he said with a smile, "There is nothing to hide. For me, nothing is a big deal. That woman, is she related to me? You don't have the guts to tell me." "Yes," Jiang Qiling said with shame. "You remember Zilian, right? She and Jiang Hua have been together recently. I heard that she used to like you?" Pff, Lu Li spat out the soup in his mouth. He was shocked. Even though he was prepared, he was still shocked to hear the news. Back then, Zilian had indeed liked him and even chased after him. However, he had no feelings for Zilian. He didn't expect that she would be together with Jiang Hua. As far as Lu Li could tell, Zilian was an infatuated girl. If he didn't accept her, she would never find a man again. Is it revenge? She can't be my woman, so she's going to be my mother-in-law? An idea popped into Lu Li's mind, and he felt like it was quite possible. Ever since Jiang Qiling's mother passed away, Jiang Hua had been single for years. Lu Li knew this. Zilian was beautiful. More importantly, her realm had improved by leaps and bounds. She had reached the Earth Immortal realm, which had increased her value. There were many beautiful women in the world. But if a woman was just beautiful, she would be worthless. In the end, she would become a plaything for powerful men. If she had some background, she might be able to marry into a wealthy family. If she was from a wealthy family herself, then this young lady would be in high demand. Jiang Qiling and Ji Mengtian were examples. After Zilian reached the Earth Immortal realm, she was from a wealthy family and became a young lady of the highest status. It was reasonable that the Jiang family would try to recruit Zilian. That being said, there were many young masters of the immediate Jiang family. Why would Jiang Hua do it in person? Zilian and Lu Li were of the same generation. This would mess up the seniority. Of course, warriors in the world had a long lifespan. It was not unusual for a man of 100 or 200 years of age to marry a teenage girl. However, there was a rumor about Zilian and Lu Li. Even though Lu Li never liked Zilian, if Jiang Hua was sane, he wouldn't take the initiative to flirt with a woman who might have a relationship with Lu Li. It could only mean that it was Zilian who took the initiative to flirt with Jiang Hua. She was either trying to get back at Jiang Hua or she was just giving up. It was unlikely that she really liked Jiang Hua, even though Jiang Hua was handsome and charming. Never mind, never mind. Lu Li soon put the matter aside. Since he didn't fall in love with Zilian, it didn't matter to him who she ended up with. That being said, the thought that he would have to call her mother-in-law when he saw her in the future gave him a headache. Chapter 10:26. Murder. If it were anything else, Lu Li wouldn't mind. But someone had died. Lu Li had to take it seriously. Yi Luo was his brother and Lu Hongyu's husband. Powerful warriors of the Yi family had been fighting with him. How many years had they been supporting him? He could not let the Yi family down. Someone! Lu Li suddenly stood up and shouted from the balcony. A man rushed in from outside the yard, got down on one knee and said, "Young Master Li." Lu Li waved his hand and said emotionlessly, "Go and get Yi Cha." Jiang Qiling stood up as well. She said with determination, "Darling, you go and deal with this. I will leave it to you. If Jiang Hua has done something wrong, punish him. Don't worry about me. Apart from Grandpa, I don't care about anyone else in the Jiang family." Lu Li patted her face and said, "Don't worry. Go and cultivate. I know what I am doing." Jiang Qiling forced a smile. She was relieved. She turned around and left. She was not close to Jiang Hua. When she was young, she even wanted to kill Jiang Hua. She felt so awkward because she didn't know how to tell Luli about this. Now that she had told him, she was less worried. Luli always had a sense of propriety. He would handle this well. Whoosh, in the time for 3 incense sticks to burn, a man came in and jumped to the balcony. He bowed to Luli and said, "Saint Lord." The Cyan Phoenix race and the Mammoth race had taken back their ancestral land. Their people had been relocated out from that small world. But recently, many of them had been relocated to the prison of wood. Luli had Yi Cha in charge of intelligence and monitoring the entire Great Land. The Cyan Phoenix race was the best scout of the Great Land. Yi Cha had made some progress over the years, but he was only at the middle stage of the human sovereign realm. He was too old to make a big breakthrough. "What is going on with Jiang Hua and Zilian? Why didn't you tell me at once?" Luli stared at him coldly, blaming him for not reporting such an important matter earlier. "Saint Lord, please forgive me." Yi Cha bowed again and said, "You were in seclusion yesterday, so I couldn't see you. I could only report it to Madame Ling. She said she would tell you and told me to leave it alone." Luli nodded. Yi Cha continued, "Actually, it is not a big deal. Nobody knew that Zilian and Jianghua are related. Recently, Zilian found a nice place in the prison of wood and she is going to build a manor there to live in. However, a young master from the Yi clan had his eyes on that place first. Zilian was so overbearing that she wanted to occupy it. The Yi clan's young master refused to accept it, and both parties had a conflict. Zilian made a move and killed the Yi clan's young master. Later, when the Yi family wanted to make trouble for Zilian, Jianghua came out and said that Zilian was his woman. If the Yi family insisted on making trouble for Zilian, he would have to declare war. Luli frowned. As far as he knew, Zilian was not such an overbearing person. Could it be that her personality had changed because of him? "Saint Lord," Yi Cha reminded Luli, "I suggest you go to the prison of wood. I heard that Zilian is related to you and Jianghua is your father-in-law. The Lu family patriarch may find it difficult to handle." He did put some pressure on the young master of the Yi family, who died, was Yi Luo's cousin. That uncle of his only had one son. "I think there will be more trouble." "All right." Luli went to his room and had a few words with Jiang Qiling. She didn't want to see such an embarrassing scene and told Luli to handle it by himself. "Let's go." Luli waved his hand and flew up with Yi Cha. They crossed the valley and arrived at a big city. There were several big cities. Kumang had built a teleportation formation in this city that could lead to the entrance of the towering mountain. "Grand Master." The ones guarding the teleportation formation were warriors of the demon-slaying hall. They dropped to one knee as soon as they saw Luli. Many people in the city had noticed Luli. They were disciples from the affiliated families of the 4 major families, such as the Palace of Blue Lions, Red Lunar, Palace of Immortals Inquiries and Palace of Heaven's Roars. Many of them wanted to greet Luli, to familiarize themselves with him, and to establish a relationship. However, Luli's status was high. Who dared to disturb him for no reason? Luli paid no attention to others. He stepped into the teleportation formation with Yi Cha and arrived at the entrance of the towering mountain. A small city had been built here, and the entrance of Sky-Piercing Mountain had a large formation built. It was surrounded by soldiers, and ordinary people were not allowed to enter. "Grand Master." The guards at the entrance were all from the demon-slaying hall. This was arranged by Patriarch of Law Enforcement. In this way, disciples of the major families would not make trouble. After all, there were many playboys in the major families. With the guards from the demon-slaying hall, who would dare to make trouble? Luli entered the towering mountain and arrived at the prison of wood. There was also a small city built at the entrance. Luli did not enter the city. He asked Yi Cha, "Where are they now?" "Master Jiang and Lady Zilian should have gone back to the Qiling city, right?" Yi Cha answered, "The Yi family is at the Yi city. The two cities are not far from each other. There are several big cities built at the prison of wood. The four families each have one. Luli had not been to the prison of wood recently. He did not know how things were going. He waved his hand and said, "Show me the way. Let's go to the Yi city first." After all, someone from the Yi family had died. Luli must go and comfort the Yi family first. The Yi city was not far away from the Yi city. Yi Cha didn't bother to teleport to the small city. She flew with Luli. The prison of wood was covered with forests. Many of the forests used to be inhabited by tree monsters. But now, those tree monsters and beasts of primordial chaos were all killed. Therefore, it was a comfortable journey for them. Even though the beasts of primordial chaos and tree monsters were all killed, the scenery was not damaged. Along the way, Luli could see many beautiful sceneries. In less than an hour, a big city came into Luli's sight. The city was built at the peak of a mountain. The mountain was as smooth as a mirror, like huge stone pillars. The city built at the peak of the mountain was quite impressive. At the foot of the mountain, there were stone stairs spiraling up to make it easier for the average people to go in and out of the city. That being said, the prison of wood had not been conquered yet. Young warriors and civilians would not leave the city at will. There were warriors patrolling outside. Seeing Luli and Yi Cha coming, a team of warriors flew up and greeted them nervously. Recognizing that it was Luli, the warriors dropped to their knees in fear. "Is Yi Luo in the city?" Luli asked. A noble lord realm leader answered, "Young master has been cultivating in the city. Today, he went to the Cherry Blossom Valley." Young Master Li, the leader wanted to say something but stopped on second thought. He seemed to be wronged and angry. Luli knew what he wanted to say. Luli didn't say anything. He just asked Yi Cha, "Where is the Cherry Blossom Valley?" "The Cherry Blossom Valley, the one that Lady Lian is interested in." Yi Cha explained in a low voice, "The Cherry Blossom Valley is between the Yi City and the Qiling City. Young Master Yi Luo went there. I think there will be another conflict. Show me the way. Let's go." Chapter 10:27. The Valley of Cherry Blossoms was beautiful. The valley was vast and wild cherry blossoms were everywhere. Outside the valley was a bamboo forest. In the middle of the valley was a pond. Within a radius of thousands of miles, this was the most beautiful place. The first to find the Valley of Cherry Blossoms was a scout of the Yi family. He reported to Yi Jing, Yi Luo's cousin, at once. At that time, neither Yi Luo's father nor Yi Luo were here. Naturally, the servants used the information to please Yi Jing. Yi Jing took someone with him to have a look and was satisfied. But at that time the Yi city was under construction. Yi Jing had no time to manage the Valley of Cherry Blossoms. He sent some warriors to guard the place, indicating that he was interested in the place. Yi Jing's father was Yi Luo's uncle. He was at the Earth Immortal Realm and the most powerful patriarch of the tumulus of universe. Yi Jing enjoyed a high status in the Yi family. As far as he could tell, he had left some warriors in the Valley of Cherry Blossoms. Who would dare to fight for it? It just so happened that someone did. The day before yesterday, Zi Lian passed by with some warriors. She fell in love with the place right away. Zi Lian decided to live in the Valley of Cherry Blossoms. Those warriors were Yi Jing's lackeys. They did not know Zi Lian. Naturally, they flew into a rage and tried to drive Zi Lian out. However, Zi Lian killed someone right away. She left a message for them to go back and tell Yi Jing that she was taking the place. Yi Jing did not know about the relationship between Zi Lian and Jiang Hua, nor did he hear about the relationship between Zi Lian and Luli. He came to the Valley of Cherry Blossoms with warriors. In the end, Yi Jing was killed by Zi Lian. As a matter of fact, this was not a big deal. If Zi Lian didn't kill anyone, no matter how much trouble she made, Yi Luo or her father would try to suppress the matter. After all, Zillian used to be related to Luli. Whether or not there was something going on between them, Yi Jing had to respect her. Yi Jing was at the middle stage of the human sovereign realm. He was one of the best young masters in the Yi family and the only son of Yi Luo's uncle. Upon learning that his son was killed, Yi Hongtu, Yi Luo's uncle, went to the Valley of Cherry Blossoms at once to avenge Zillian. But Jiang Hua arrived in time and defeated Yi Hongtu. He stated clearly that Zillian was his woman. As long as the Yi family did not kill her, everything could be negotiated. If the Yi family insisted on killing, then there was nothing Jiang Hua could do. Lu Xingyang was in the prison of wood. He received the news at once. He did not come in time, but he sent someone to tell Yi family to stay, and he would give them an answer. Lu Xingyang sent a message to Luli. After all, this was a troublesome matter. Both sides were in-laws. No matter how Lu Xingyang handled it, one side would be offended. Lu Xingyang did not dare to make a decision. Initially, it had been temporarily suppressed, but today, something happened again. Yi Hongtu heard that after Zillian killed the people yesterday, she didn't leave immediately. Instead, she sent people to build a wooden house in Cherry Blossom Valley. It seemed that she was going to stay there for a long time. His son's corpse had not yet turned cold and had not yet been placed in the coffin. Zillian had brazenly built a wooden house at the scene of the murder, her attitude extremely arrogant. Even if Yi Hongtu was made of clay, he would still be somewhat angry. After receiving the news early in the morning, he immediately led his men to kill their way over. This morning, when Lord Yi Jing morning of Yi blossoms, Yi Valley of Yi of Yi of Valley, of Yi blossoms was of Li of Lu of the family. He family was. Could it be that love had turned into hate? Had he given up on himself? The Valley of Cherry Blossoms was some distance away. But Luli was fast. Later on, he grabbed Yi Cha and flew with him. He used the traceless wind profound meaning. He was as fast as a semi-god realm warrior. In the time for 3 incense sticks to burn, he arrived at the Valley of Cherry Blossoms. Boom, boom, boom. Luli heard some explosions from the distance. He took a look and saw 2 Earth Immortal Realm warriors fighting in the sky. The 2 seemed to be fighting for real. Both of them used their bloodline skills. One of them released a sky full of swords, while the other released countless black butterflies. The 2 of them also released profound attacks, causing the mountains around them to explode violently due to the shockwaves from their attack. It is Master Jiang and Patriarch Hongtu, Yi Cha explained in a low voice. Luli had met Yi Hongtu several times. He used psychic power to check. He saw warriors of the Pavilion of Delicacy and the Yi family confronting each other outside the Valley of Cherry Blossoms. Both sides had sent many powerful warriors, over 100. Fortunately, those warriors restrained themselves and did not start a fight. Zillian. Luli used psychic power to see a girl in a yellow dress in the Valley of Cherry Blossoms. At the moment, Zillian was sitting in a wooden pavilion in the valley, drinking tea. Clearly, the pavilion had just been built. 2 maids were standing next to her nervously, looking at the fight in the sky. Luli snorted. He let go of Yi Cha and the noble Lord Realm warriors of the Yi family. He flew up in a gust of wind and dashed into the battlefield where Jiang Hua and Yi Hongtu were fighting. Buzzing. A cyan-colored castle came out and enveloped Jiang Hua and Yi Hongtu. Luli did not hesitate. He generated several dragons of wind and whooshed over. Jiang Hua and Yi Hongtu were both powerful. That being said, they were only Earth Immortal Realm warriors. How could they survive soul attacks? The 2 of them held their heads and cried in pain inside the Feather Wind Castle. Then, the Feather Wind Castle disappeared. The 2 of them fell from the sky in a coma. Luli was too fast. Just now, people of the 2 families were watching the fight in the sky. Therefore, Lu Li flew over in a gust of wind. Before many people could react, they saw Jiang Wua and Yi Hongtu falling to the ground like two dead bodies. Master! Chief Patriarch! Out of instinct, warriors of the two families shouted. Someone was about to fly up. But soon, they saw the white-haired young man standing in the sky. Lu Li! All the warriors were taken aback. Lu Li was here and he knocked out Jiang Wua and Yi Hongtu in one move. Looking at Lu Li's gloomy face, warriors of the two families were worried. Would Lu Li fly into a rage and start a massacre on both sides? Lu Li was a god of killing. Yi Luo forced a smile. He waved his hand to have someone from the Yi family to bring Yi Hongtu back. Yi Luo flew up to Lu Li and said with a bitter smile, "Lu Li, I am late. By the time I got here, they were already fighting. After all, it is my uncle. I cannot control him." Whoosh, one of Jiang Qiling's uncles flew up and stood next to Lu Li. He glared at Yi Luo angrily and said, "Lu Li, Yi Hongtu started a fight as soon as he arrived. This is outrageous. You must help us." Lu Li's expression was even more clouded by the words of Jiang Qiling's uncles. He slapped Jiang Qiling's uncle across the face. His uncle was smashed away. Some of his teeth were knocked out and his face was deformed. And many powerful warriors of the Jiang family and the Yi family were stunned. Lu Li had slapped Jiang Qiling's uncle in front of everyone. He had not shown any respect to him. "Bring your master back," Lu Li said coldly. "Before I came, Qiling told me that apart from Grandpa Jiang, she doesn't care about anyone in the Jiang family. In other words, don't think that I won't kill anyone just because I care about Qiling. Do you think I am blind or an idiot?" Chapter 10:28. As far as the Jiang family were concerned, Lu Li was the son-in-law of the Jiang family. Besides the Lu family, the Jiang family was the most glorious family in the divine Great Land. Even though Jiang Qiling was only one of Lu Li's 3 wives, Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang didn't have any backing. They had always regarded Jiang Qiling as Lu Li's wife, and Bai Qiushue and Bai Xiaoshuang as concubines. What was more, Lu Li had been taking good care of the Jiang family. Jiang Tianshun didn't have much power at the demon-slaying hall. Now, his power was second only to Patriarch of Law Enforcement Lu Xingyang. Jiang family had gained many benefits at the Ocean Land of the East and the Feather Land of the West. Recently, Lu Li had asked Jiang Tianshun to manage the Voodoo Land of the South, almost giving the entire land to the Jiang family. Over the years, the Jiang family had been developing very fast. With a large amount of resources, it was easy for them to cultivate powerful warriors. At present, there were 5 Earth Immortals and more than 100 human sovereigns. The status and strength of the Jiang family had reached the peak in history. Therefore, many in the Jiang family misunderstood that Lu Li valued the Jiang family. Because of Jiang Qiling, the Jiang family enjoyed a high status in Lu Li's heart. Otherwise, he would not have given the Voodoo Land of the South to the Jiang family. Over the years, the Jiang family had been spoiled by Lu Li unconsciously. The disciples of the Jiang family had a common understanding: they could mess with anyone except the Lu family. Even disciples of the Palace of Immortals' Inquiries, Red Lunar and Palace of Heaven's Roars would be beaten up. As a matter of fact, over the years, Jiang family did have conflicts with Palace of Heaven's Roars, Palace of Immortals' Inquiries and Red Lunar. Every time, the 3 forces suffered in silence. They were angry but did not dare to speak out, which made the Jiang family even more domineering. The Yi family enjoyed a high status and was powerful. Yi Luo married Lu Hongyu and was Lu Li's brother. That being said, the Jiang family believed that the Yi family and Lu Li were not close. Lu Hongyu was Lu Li's cousin, while Jiang Qiling was the family patriarch of the Jiang family. Indirectly, Lu Li was the family patriarch of the Jiang family. When the two families were in conflict, Lu Li would help the Jiang family no matter what. They were wrong. The fact that Lu Li smashed away Jiang Qiling's uncle proved that they were wrong. Lu Fengyun was the son of great-grandfather 5, not to mention the Jiang family. Lu Li didn't care about many people in his life. He wouldn't show favoritism to those he didn't care about, even if they were his family, not to mention the Jiang family that Jiang Qiling didn't care about. Lu Li, an elder of the Jiang family, moved his lips, trying to say something. Lu Li glared at him and shouted coldly, "Piss off!" No one dared to say anything else. A patriarch of the Jiang family flew over and picked up Jiang Hua. The group of people flew away like stray dogs. Yi Luo forced a smile and shook his head. Lu Li, I am sorry to have put you in a difficult position. It doesn't exist. Lu Li patted Yi Luo's shoulder and said, I think the Yi family is going to suffer a bit this time. You can go back now. I will go to the Yi city to apologize in person. I beg for forgiveness. The patriarchs and powerful warriors of the Yi family looked at each other in fear. How could they afford to have Lu Li come to beg for forgiveness? All right, we'll head back first. Yi Luo knew Lu Li well. He nodded and flew away with the Yi family warriors. After Yi Luo and the others left, Lu Li turned to Zilian in the Valley of Cherry Blossoms. From the beginning to the end, Zilian sat in the pavilion without moving. She didn't even look at Lu Li. Yi Cha was asked to wait outside while Lu Li flew into the valley alone. He landed outside the pavilion. 2 maids knelt down in fear. Lu Li waved them away. After the maids left, Zilian finally turned around. She looked at Lu Li emotionlessly. Her pretty eyes were calm. Lu Li could not tell what was on her mind. Lu Li looked at Zilian, at her thinner face. He pressed his lips and asked, Why did you kill him? Zilian picked up the cup and stared at it. She didn't drink or say anything. After the time for more than a dozen breaths, she finally said, He offended me. I was angry, so I killed him. That is not your style. Lu Li shook his head. The Zilian I know is a gentle girl who can distinguish between good and evil. She will not kill over such trifles. Ha ha, Zilian smiled faintly, but it did not feel like a smile. The corners of her mouth curled up slightly, and she said mockingly, The Zilian you know is long dead. The Zilian now is just a lonely ghost without parents, no relatives, and no one to love. Don't be surprised no matter what she does. Just as I thought, Lu Li sighed to himself. It was true that Zilian's love had turned into hatred. The destruction of the Z family had turned her into a pervert. Just like Jiang Qiling in the old days, she didn't care about anything. She wouldn't even care if she caused a disaster, let alone killing someone. It was just death, wasn't it? For her, death might be a relief. Lu Li felt guilty about the death of Zi Huanxiao and the destruction of the Z family. The Z family was destroyed because of him. Therefore, Lu Li had asked Mingyu to take good care of the surviving young masters and young ladies of the Z family. He gave them whatever they wanted and provided them with unlimited mystical materials. Before Lu Li came, he was furious. He didn't know how to vent his anger after seeing Zilian like this. For a moment, he didn't know what to do. Lu Li. Zilian suddenly put on a mocking smile. She looked up at Lu Li and said, I was the one who seduced Jiang Hua. I also learned a skill of seduction from the hag race. Jiang Hua is infatuated with me. If you didn't come, I would have instigated Jiang Hua to go to war with the Yi family. I would have turned the Yi city into a bloodbath. It would have been a spectacular scene. Lu Li was speechless. Crazy women really were unreasonable creatures. His expressions grew colder, but he didn't lose his temper. He sighed and said, Why do you have to give up on yourself? With your qualifications, what kind of young elites can't you find? What is the point of you doing this? It is pointless. Zilian shook her head with a smile and sighed. When I kill people, I feel some pleasure. But now, I don't think it is meaningful. Lu Li, do it. Kill me and I will give the Yi family an explanation. I am tired of living. There is nothing in this world that I miss. You don't want me anyway. Lu Li didn't know what to feel when he looked at Zilian's sorrowful expression. He had always regarded Zilian as a friend. Zi Huanxiao's death meant that he was entrusted to him. Zilian had done something wrong, but how could he have the heart to kill her? Alas! I will take the blame for you this time. After a moment of silence, Lu Li turned around with his back to Zilian. He didn't want to comfort her. He just sighed and said, "Do what you can. Even if you don't think about yourself, you must think about your cousins. What if you go too far and the Zi family is wiped out because of you? How can you face your father in the afterlife?" With that said, Lu Li flew up and flew toward the Yi city. Zilian didn't stop Lu Li. She stared at Lu Li's back as he disappeared. Tears ran down from her pretty face. After a while, her face was covered in tears. But her eyes were cold. She murmured, "Lu Li, I have given you a chance. But you are still so cruel. Then don't blame me for being heartless." P.S. More updates. Chapter 1029. Lu Li had cleaned up Zilian's mess for her. They were friends and the Zi family had followed Lu Li for such a long time. Lu Li had to be considerate. Also, Lu Li could not let this matter go. Otherwise, if the Jiang family and the Yi family continued to fight, the Jiang family would become unstable internally. With the enemy at hand, he could not afford to let anything go wrong. Lu Li went to the Yi city. Yi Luo's father was in closed-door cultivation, and Yi Luo had invited him out. Since Lu Li had come to apologize in person, the Yi family would not say anything. Without Lu Li, the Yi family would not be where it was today. What was more, given Lu Li's abilities and forces, it would be a piece of cake for him to wipe out the Yi family. Not only did Lu Li apologize on behalf of Zilian and Jiang Hua, but he also gave all the interests of the Jiang family at the eastern land of oceans to the Yi family as compensation. On top of that, Lu Li slapped Jiang Qiling's uncle in public. The Yi family warriors felt better. Yi Hongtu, who had come to his senses, didn't say anything. Yi Luo understood Lu Li's difficulties. He saw Lu Li out in person and told Lu Li not to worry. He would keep the Yi family under control and would not let Lu Li be in trouble. Having comforted the Yi family, Lu Li did not go to the Qiling city. Instead, he went to the King Kong city where the Lu family was located and sent a message to Jiang Tianshun, asking him to come at once. After chatting with Lu Xingyang for a while, Lu Xingyang shook his head with a bitter smile. Lu Li told him to pay attention to his family members. If anyone was abusing the prestige of the Lu family to do evil deeds or bully the weak, he would be dealt with severely. Lu Xingyang attached great importance to this. He called Great-Grandfather Five over and told him that Great-Grandfather Five would enforce the family rules himself. Great-Grandfather Five would punish anyone who disobeyed the family rules. "Any news from your father?" After Great-Grandfather Five left, Lu Xingyang asked with concern. Lu Li shook his head. How could he know? He did not go to the prison of ice. Lu Renhuang had been gone for a long time and he did not bring back any news. Only his jade talisman of life was intact, which reassured Lu Li and Lu Xingyang. Since Lu Li did not know, Lu Xingyang asked again, "When will the enemies invade?" Lu Li told Lu Xingyang something about the warriors of the 9 universes, but he did not make it too clear. He only mentioned that some enemies would come and they were not that terrifying. "In the next 1 or 2 years," Lu Li said after some thought. Lu Xingyang was worried. He asked again, "Are you confident?" "Yes." Lu Li nodded with a smile and explained, "Grandpa, I have reached an agreement with God of Sorcerer and God of Barbarian. When enemies invade, they will send an avatar to help me fight. Think about it, with 2 immortals helping me, do you think I can lose?" "God!" Lu Xingyang was shocked. Lu Li explained patiently but did not tell Lu Xingyang everything. Then, on second thought, Lu Li taught Lu Xingyang the skill of shield, spiritual element, and transcendent state. The three skills were the cornerstones of the Lu family. If any disciple of the Lu family could learn them, the Lu family could dominate the heaven reverse universe for generations to come. Divine arts? Lu Xingyang was thrilled. He recorded it with a piece of animal hide. Lu Li told him not to leak it out and not too many people knew about it. He could not reveal that it was a skill from the divinity and could only say it was an ancient skill. Of course, Lu Xingyang understood the seriousness of this matter. He put away the hide roll in excitement. Taking a moment to calm himself down, Lu Xingyang said, "Lu Li, you are more powerful than any of us. You are smart and sensible. I cannot help you too much. All I can do is to help you manage the rear. Go ahead and do what you want to do. Grandpa will always support you." "Okay." Lu Li smiled. He left and went to a room to cultivate. It would take Jiang Tianshun a couple of days to arrive. Lu Li did not want to go to the Qiling city. He decided to cultivate for a few days first. Several days later, Jiang Tianshun teleported over. He did not go to the Qiling city but to the King Kong city. Lu Li came out from cultivation to meet him. Lu Xingyang did not keep Jiang Tianshun company. Otherwise, Jiang Tianshun would feel embarrassed. Lu Li did not waste time. Looking at Jiang Tianshun, he said, "Grandpa Jiang, the Jiang family has been impatient lately." Yes. Jiang Tianshun had learned everything before he came. He did not refute or explain. Instead, he said with a forced smile, "I know. Later, I will go back and deal with it. Lu Li, what instructions do you have for me? Just tell me." Jiang Tianxuan's use of the word instructions indicated that he was being humble. He was not as reckless as Jiang Wu. He knew that in the heaven reverse universe, Lu Li's will could not be disobeyed. Even immortals had to bow to Lu Li. Jiang Tianshun knew Lu Li's character well. The Jiang family would not have a good ending if Lu Li was angered. "No, Grandpa Jiang. You are exaggerating," Lu Li said with a straight face. "I have promised the Yi family that you will give them your interests at the ocean land of the East as compensation. Grandpa Jiang, you will not blame me, will you?" "Of course not." Jiang Tianxuan's heart was bleeding but he pretended to be fine. The Jiang family at the ocean land of the East had occupied many resources and lands. Forcing himself to shake his head, Jiang Tianshun said, "Since Wu has done something wrong, he must pay the price. Also, Jiang family disciples have been impatient these years. It is time to give them a wake-up call." "Grandpa Jiang, you may not know this, but the heaven reverse universe is about to face a catastrophe." Lu Li sighed. He did not explain too much. He said solemnly, "To survive this catastrophe, I am doing my best to prepare. I don't want any more trouble at the rear. This time, I did not show my cousin any respect. Please apologize to him on my behalf. I will not go over. Help me comfort the uncles of the Jiang family." "Catastrophe?" Jiang Tianshun frowned and asked with caution, "Is it serious? Lu Li, you have moved the families here to deal with the catastrophe? Don't worry too much and don't tell others." Lu Li explained, "I have reached an agreement with God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer. They will help me. It is just some semi-god realm warriors that will invade. I can handle them." "Okay, I know what to do." Jiang Tianshun nodded. "I will keep an eye on the Jiang family. There will be no more trouble. I am sorry to have troubled you." "Thank you, Grandpa Jiang." Lu Li smiled. He added after some thoughts, "When you pass by the base camp, go and talk to Qiling. She listens to you." That child. Jiang Tianxuan's eyes revealed a trace of doting and he sighed. Her mother died early, and Wu left her alone, so her temper is a bit bad. Fortunately, she met you and you should be more tolerant. Jiang Tianshun remembered that he did not agree to Jiang Qiling staying with Lu Li. Now, Lu Li's status and abilities made Jiang Tianshun sigh. Luckily, Jiang Qiling insisted on staying with Lu Li. Otherwise, the Jiang family would not be where it was today. Jiang Tianshun left after a while. He had to go back to the Jiang family. Lu Li walked out and ordered Yi Cha, who was guarding outside, send someone to keep an eye on Zilian. If she dares to do anything, ask my grandpa to take her down and put her under house arrest. Chapter 10:30. Lu Li went back to the Inferno to cultivate. Things had come to an end. Jiang Tianshun went to the Qiling city and scolded Jiang Hua. He slapped out a patriarch who talked back to Jiang Tianshun. Nobody in the Jiang family dared to make trouble. Jiang Tianshun was the former family patriarch. Later, he became a patriarch at the demon-slaying hall. He had always been the Jiang family's biggest support. His prestige in the Jiang family was high. Under Jiang Tianxuan's forceful suppression, nobody dared to make trouble anymore. At least, for the time being, nobody dared to clash with the Yi family. As for the Yi family, Lu Li went to visit them in person. He respected the Yi family and offered them many benefits. Yi Luo and his father were reasonable people. They would not clash with the Jiang family again. For Lu Li, this was not a big deal. He went back to the Inferno and chatted with Jiang Qiling for a while. Then, he began to cultivate. Learning a skill in the spatial realm did not help Lu Li's abilities at all. If he wanted to improve his abilities, he must either study the Slayer's move or the stone golems. He preferred the Slayer's move. After all, this was a move created by a super mighty warrior in the divinity. For the Slayer, this might be a simple move. But for Lu Li, once he learned the move, his abilities would be enhanced by multiple fold. Half a year. Lu Li set a goal for himself. If he could not learn the Slayer's move in half a year, then it would be proof that he was not destined to learn the move anytime soon. He could not go all the way. He had to study the stone golems. Lu Li went into deep cultivation. He told Jiang Qiling not to disturb him unless it was something important. While Lu Li was in closed-door cultivation, everything else was carried out in an orderly manner according to his instructions. Elite disciples from major families of the Great Land entered the Inferno in batches. Many cities were built in the Inferno. More warriors were coming in through the entrances and exits of the Inferno. The cities in the prison of wood were still under construction. Lu Xingyang organized an army to eliminate the beasts of primordial chaos. Lu Li told Lu Xingyang to eliminate all the powerful beasts of primordial chaos in the prison of wood. In this way, the cities would not be attacked by the beasts of primordial chaos, which could lead to massive casualties. The chaos beasts in the prison of wood were very good training targets. Under the protection of formidable martial artists, the talented disciples of the various clans could fight against the chaos beasts. Their battle experience would increase rapidly. Kumang had been very busy at the demon-slaying battleground. He had learned something from the altar and was integrating that knowledge into his illusions and formations of destruction. Kumang wasn't one to brag after all. He had already successfully fused what he had learned into a killing array. The enforcement elder personally went in to test it out, but even with his defensive strength, he couldn't even last 5 breaths of time. If Kumang hadn't stopped the restriction in time, he would have been killed by the killing array. Genius! Patriarch of Law Enforcement exclaimed. In the past, he never understood why Lu Li valued the Shadowland race and Kumang so much and why he gave the Shadowland race endless mystical materials. In the eyes of the law enforcement elder, his own strength was the way to go. Relying on external objects would always be the wrong way. It was not until today that Kumang realized how advanced Lu Li's vision was. Of course, maybe Lu Li didn't have such foresight. He just thought inhibition formations were powerful, which was why he valued Kumang so much. The altars of God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer had been built and their statues had been delivered. Kumang tested several times and everything was fine. Luli would be able to communicate with God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer at any time by using some special method. Kumang continued his experiment. He wanted to improve the power of one formation of illusion and the other formation of destruction. With the two formations of destruction and the formation of illusion, Kumang was confident that he could kill a group of average semi-god realm warriors. The voodoo land of the south and the barbarian land of the north had been stabilized. He used subsidiary bodies were deployed. The entire Heaven Reverse universe was under her surveillance. Once warriors of the 9 universes arrived, she would know at once. Time flew by. Luli had lost track of time when he was cultivating. Half a year passed by in the blink of an eye. Bai Qiushue had been cultivating. She obtained the 4th and 5th levels of the enchantment from Master of Fairy Fox. She wanted to learn the last 2 levels, so that she could be of help to Luli. Bai Xiaoshuang was too impatient. She stopped cultivating a month ago, and went to the prison of wood on her own. Jiang Qiling had been cultivating as well. Emperor of Heaven Reverse passed on something to her. If she could continue to study it, she could reach the semi-god realm. But whether or not she could become an immortal would depend on her luck and power of understanding. In history, the statue of Emperor of Heaven Reverse glowed many times. Many geniuses were granted divine energy. In the end, all of them became chosen warriors. But none of them became immortals. Luli woke up on time after half a year. He felt helpless. Half a year was not a long time, but it was not a short time either. He had been studying for half a year, but he still could not learn that move. Every time he would be touched, but if he wanted to pursue this feeling, he had no idea where to start, and there was no way to pursue it. Maybe the move of a super mighty warrior was too abstruse, and Lu Li's realm was too low. A mortal man who was not even an immortal wanted to learn the move of a mighty warrior in the divinity? Perhaps this was because some people were like snakes trying to swallow an elephant. Never mind. I will not think about the Slayer's move for now. I will cultivate the method of stone golems. Luli was decisive and never procrastinated. He stopped cultivating, took a bath, and had a good sleep. After a day's sleep, he went out. Yi Cha came in at once to report, "Saint Lord, there is a new passageway found in the deserted world. It is connected to the central plains." Another new passageway? Lu Li's eyes glowed. He thought about it and asked, "Who else knows about this? Has it been spread out?" "No." Yi Cha replied, "Only Ming Yu and Madame Feishuan know." "Well, they must have sent a message to Patriarch of Law Enforcement. I don't think anyone else knows." "Okay." Luli paced up and down in the room. He waved his hand and said, "Go and send a message to those who know. This must be kept a secret. Don't tell anyone else. Just tell them that I told you. This is important." When warriors of the 9 universes invaded, Luli planned to destroy the 2 passageways connecting the deserted world to the Inferno to ensure the safety of the deserted world and the Inferno. Now that there was another passageway unknown to the outside world, Luli had to keep it a secret. As long as the information was not leaked, warriors of the 9 universes would not be able to find out. Half a day later, Patriarch of Law Enforcement sent a message back. Luli was relieved that he did not tell anyone. Luli went out in person and gathered the chief patriarch of the Shadowland race. He went to the passageway with Yi Cha. Making sure that they could reach the central plains through this passageway, Luli asked the patriarch of the Shadowland race to build an illusion and then teleported back to the deserted world to build a formation of illusion. Chapter 1031. Luli began to cultivate again to study the method of stone golems. This time it was a smooth process. In merely 2 months, Luli had learned the profound meaning of Earth. It was as if learning anything in the transcendent state was easy. Of course, the profound meaning of earth was the simplest one. This profound meaning was not that useful. It could only utilize the force of earth. After all, he could make some clay figurines, shake the earth, or collapse a hill. With the profound meaning of earth and the 3 other skills, the first level of the method of stone golems would be completed. The first level would not be of much use. All Luli could do was to make some puppets that were as powerful as Earth Immortal Realm Warriors. A semi-god realm warrior could easily defeat a group of puppets of this level. That being said, Luli was starting to learn this skill. He poured his heart and soul into it. A month later, he learned the first skill. Another 1.5 months later, he learned the second skill. The third skill took longer. It took Luli 2 months to learn the first level of the method of stone golems. Time to finish cultivation. Though he was exhausted both physically and mentally, Luli was still excited. He dashed out of the wicked bead. He used psychic power to check and found that Jiang Qiling and Bai Qiuxue were cultivating. Bai Xiaoshuang was not here. He flew out from the base camp and into the depths of the inferno. Luli's hands glowed in a yellowish glow. The ground began to tremble. Then, rocks and dirt began to surge up. Soon, a stone golem with a height of 100 feet was formed. Luli's hands glowed in a yellowish glow. He kept firing at the stone golem. After 12 strikes, the stone golem began to shrink. In the end, the 100 feet tall stone golem shrank to about 10 feet. That being said, the energy from the stone golem was profound. Luli gestured to a hill not far away. The stone golem seemed to be made of molten iron. It looked like a human but without facial features. The stone golem could move. Its lines were beautiful and it had a sense of strength. Whoosh! The stone golem stomped on the ground. It dashed over like a sharp sword and punched at the hill. Boom! The stone peak exploded and gravel flew everywhere. At that moment, Luli's eyes lit up like stars. The speed at which the stone golem flew and the power of that punch were no different from that of an earth immortal. Continue! Luli pointed to another direction and the stone golem dashed over quickly. The stone golem smashed at another stone peak with its iron fist. Another stone peak was crushed at once. The stone man was extremely powerful and did not know any other divine abilities. He completely relied on his powerful attack. Luli made a hand gesture and the stone golems flew back. The bead of life came out from Luli's abdomen. He generated some feather wind weapons and struck at the stone golems. Bang, bang, bang! The horrifying feather wind weapons landed on the stone golems, making muffled noises. The stone man managed to fend off a few feather wind weapons. However, as the weapons behind him continued their assault, the stone man eventually exploded into pieces. His defense, strength and speed are on par with an earth immortal. Luli knew the power of feather wind weapons. At this moment, he had verified the comprehensive abilities of the stone golems. He nodded in satisfaction. God of Sorcerer did not lie to him. This skill was powerful. Rise. Soon, Luli generated another stone golem and tested it again. He was sure that the stone golem was stable. It would not collapse as long as it was not under strong attacks. Luli tried to make more stone golems. He was quite fast. In the time for dozens of breaths, he could make one. In total, he had made over 100. When there were more than 100, Luli felt his soul was weak. He stopped. It seems that making stone golems requires a lot of spiritual energy. Such a shame. Luli had thought that tens of thousands of stone golems could drown the enemies, which would be a magnificent scene. Now, he realized that he had been overthinking. That being said, Luli was satisfied that he could make 100 stone golems. The key now was to reach the second level of the stone golems. Only then could the stone golems be as strong as semi-god realm warriors. Otherwise, with his current abilities, he could make 1,000,000 stone golems. Disperse. Luli generated a hand gesture. The 100 stone golems fell apart and turned into piles of mud. Go back and cultivate. On his way back to the base camp, Luli calculated the time. It had been almost a year since he started cultivating twice. If everything went well, warriors of the 9 universes would come to the Heaven Reverse universe in a year. A year. Luli sighed to himself. It had taken him 5 months to learn the first level of the method of stone golems. The second level would require him to learn 3 profound meanings related to Earth and 12 secret skills. How could he learn all of them in 1 year? What should I do if I cannot learn the stone golems? Luli was troubled. Could he kill all the semi-god realm warriors by relying solely on God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer? What if they left the demon-slaying battleground and went to the Great Land to slaughter? What should Luli do then? I should check on the dragon demon. Luli decided to go to the place where the dragon demon lived. Great-grandfather 5 had been delivering eggs of the Fey beast. Since Luli came back, the dragon demon had been feeding. Luli wondered if its abilities had improved. The dragon demon was sleeping when Luli arrived at the valley. Sensing Luli's arrival, the dragon demon opened its eyes. To Luli's disappointment, the dragon demon did not seem to have grown much after a year. It must be because the bodies of the master of Silver Dragon and the 3-legged golden toad were too strong. Luli told the warriors to guard the dragon demon and not cut off its food supply. Then, he went back to the base camp. Upon his return, he asked Yi Cha about the Great Land and the situation at the demon-slaying battleground. The Great Land was doing well. Tens of millions of elite disciples had been relocated to the Great Land. Even if there were to be a catastrophe, at least the human race at the Great Land could survive. Luli was glad that Kumang had successfully built powerful formations of destruction and illusion. He was not as anxious and worried as before. Cultivate. Success or not, I must do my best. It was the last year. Whether he could survive this disaster would depend on whether the gods would bless the people of the Heaven Reverse universe. Gods! Luli suddenly remembered Emperor of Heaven Reverse. If God of Wings, God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer could generate an avatar, then Emperor of Heaven Reverse, as a mighty warrior in the divinity, could do the same. All the people of the Heaven Reverse universe worshipped Emperor of Heaven Reverse. They were his people. Would Emperor of Heaven Reverse stand by and do nothing when warriors of the 9 universes came to the Heaven Reverse universe to slaughter? Yes. Chapter 1032. Time slipped by like a shuttle. 9 months had passed. 9 months might be a long time for the average people, but it was a short time for warriors, especially the older ones. For an elder in closed-door cultivation, 9 months would pass by in a blink. The 9 months were peaceful. Apart from the disciples of the big families being relocated to the Inferno and some rumors going around at the Great Land, nothing else happened. The elite disciples of the big and small families were sent to the Inferno in batches. Inevitably, the news spread. After all, it was not just a few million people being relocated this time. Over the next 9 months, tens of millions of elite disciples had been relocated. Almost all the talented young warriors of the Great Land had been relocated. Some of the relocated warriors were only 11 or 12 years old. They were at the Soul Pond realm. Warriors of this level were not sent to the war. The only possibility was that they were sent to avert disaster. What was more, almost all the disciples of the Lu, Jiang, Yi, and Kong family had been relocated. The rumors were spreading at the Great Land. Patriarch of Law Enforcement sent out an announcement to reassure the people, but it did not work. After all, the entire Lu family had been relocated. That was a fact that could not be changed unless the Lu family came out from the prison of wood. The people were unstable. Rumors were spreading. Many places at the Great Land were in chaos. Patriarch of Law Enforcement knew all about it, but he could not solve it. He had to wait for the war to end. Lord! In Patriarch of Law Enforcement's yard, you came out from a room. She said in surprise, "Something is wrong at the Ocean Land of the East." Ocean Land of the East? The law enforcement elder's sparse eyebrows furrowed and his expression became extremely grave. He asked in a deep voice, "What's the specific situation?" At the southernmost part of the Ocean Land of the East, the space is shaking violently. Very bad, he said in a serious tone. Then, she explained, my subsidiary body was not there. According to the report from the Asmodeans, the shaking started the day before yesterday. At first, it was not serious. By the time my subsidiary body arrived, the space was shaking violently. The shaking has affected an area with a radius of 3 miles. Cracks are appearing in that space. It seems there will be a hole in the space soon. They are here. Someone, Patriarch of Law Enforcement, shouted. A Patriarch of the demon-slaying hall flew over at once. Patriarch of Law Enforcement ordered, "Send a message to the armies and powerful warriors at the Ocean Land of the East. Tell them to evacuate and gather at the exit. Hurry!" There used to be a lot of troops in the Ocean Land of the East. However, most of them had been evacuated by the Patriarch of Law Enforcement. Now, there were less than 300,000 of them left. If the experts of the 9 realms were to descend from the other side, the 300,000 soldiers would naturally have to retreat, or they would all be killed. The Patriarch of the demon-slaying hall was puzzled. He asked after some thoughts, "Retreat? If there's no one to suppress the devil race, there will be trouble. What do you know? Carry out the order." The law enforcement elder roared furiously. This was the first time he had lost his temper in all these years. One could imagine the anxiety in his heart. Spatial fluctuations and spatial cracks had appeared within a radius of 10 miles. This was definitely the arrival of the cultivators of the 9 realms. Moreover, the people who had come were very powerful. He closed her eyes and continued to sense through her subsidiary bodies. Patriarch of Law Enforcement paced up and down in the room. 2 hours later, he suddenly opened her eyes. She said bitterly, "Lord, it is too late for the armies of the Ocean Land of the East to evacuate. You told the powerful warriors to flee. They are here. There are so many of them, and all of them are at the semi-god realm." What? A glint of coldness rose in Patriarch of Law Enforcement's eyes. He asked in a trembling voice, "How many are there? What are their realms?" He answered bitterly, "At least 100, and all of them are at the semi-god realm. My subsidiary bodies were killed in an instant. They recognized my subsidiary bodies. I have a conservative estimate. There are at least 10 at the peak of the semi-god realm." What? Patriarch of Law Enforcement was taken aback. Luli had said that there were only 40 to 50 semi-god realm warriors. Now, the number had doubled. 10 at the peak of the semi-god realm? Was this really a catastrophe for the Heaven Reverse universe? Someone, Patriarch of Law Enforcement, reacted quickly. He yelled. The Patriarch that went to send the message came back at once. Patriarch of Law Enforcement shouted, "Send a message. Tell them to evacuate in 1 day. After 1 day, destroy all the entrances connecting the Ocean Land of the East and the demon-slaying battleground." Destroy all of them? That Patriarch was shocked. Was Patriarch of Law Enforcement out of his mind? Destroy all the entrances? Abandon the Ocean Land of the East? Abandon the hundreds of thousands of warriors? Do it. Seeing this elder pause, the law enforcement elder kicked him out. That elder could only quickly fly away and send a message. Patriarch Lay. Patriarch of Law Enforcement shouted again. This time, before Patriarch Lay arrived, Patriarch of Law Enforcement said, "Act according to the plan I told you before. Everyone in the demon-slaying city, except for the Earth Immortal Realm warriors, evacuate now." There were over 100 semi-god realm warriors from the 9 universes. Average warriors would be courting death if they stayed. They might as well send them to the prison of wood. Prison of Wood. Thinking of the prison of wood, Patriarch of Law Enforcement shouted again, "Patriarch's son, come here!" In the distance, a patriarch came from a yard. Luli said to Patriarch's son, "Teleport to the Central Plains. When the armies of the demon-slaying Hall enter the deserted world, destroy the 2 entrances. Also, go to the Inferno and find Luli. Tell him, they are here and at the ocean land of the east." Destroy the 2 entrances to the deserted world? Patriarch's son was terrified. Patriarch of Law Enforcement was cutting off the connection between the deserted world and the Great Land. In other words, the elite disciples that had been relocated over the years would never be able to come back. What was going on? Why would Patriarch of Law Enforcement do such a drastic thing? Wait a minute. Patriarch's son reacted quickly. If the 2 entrances were destroyed, what was the point of Patriarch of Law Enforcement asking him to tell Luli? Were there other hidden entrances? Don't worry. Carry out my order. Patriarch of Law Enforcement waved his hand, and Patriarch's son retreated. He looked at Hiyu, and the latter pursed her lips and said, "Those warriors are flying around to capture them. Some human soldiers have already fallen into their hand. My subsidiary bodies are being killed one after another, and not a single one is left." What? Moments later, Hiyu's body suddenly trembled and her face was full of fear. She paused and said, "There is a city over there with hundreds of thousands of demon civilians and human soldiers. After they captured some human warriors, one of them destroyed the entire city in one move. The hundreds of thousands of Asmodeans and thousands of human warriors were all killed. So cruel and ruthless?" Chapter 1033. The south of the ocean land of the east was in a mess. The first order from the law enforcement elder had been delivered. The soldiers stationed there were ready to evacuate. However, a piece of news from the southernmost city made many soldiers stop evacuating. The soldiers there sent a message saying that the void in the south was shaking violently. The sky over 100,000 miles was shaking violently, as if a terrifying monster was about to break out of the void. Many soldiers were panicking, but how could they evacuate immediately when something happened in the south? Even if they couldn't deal with it, they had to find out the truth before reporting back. Lu Tianyong, the chief commander of the south and an elder of the Lu clan, immediately gave the order to stop evacuating. He mobilized some soldiers and scouts to teleport to the southernmost city to gather information. Lu Tianyong was astonished. Those soldiers and scouts couldn't be teleported over? There were only 2 explanations. Either the teleportation formation was malfunctioning, or the teleportation formation over there was destroyed or sealed. Lu Tianyong had a bad feeling. He even wanted to run away and not care about what was happening here. However, as a descendant of the Lu clan, he had the pride of the Lu clan even though he was from a branch family. If he retreated without knowing anything, he would definitely be looked down upon by the Lu clan when the news spread. Therefore, he could only grit his teeth and send people to the south. He had to bring back the information even if he had to die. What on earth is it? Lu Tianyong paced back and forth in his room. Since yesterday, he had received news of the void tremors over there, but he had not been able to find any specific information. Today, there was suddenly no news from the southernmost city. Something big must have happened. Time passed bit by bit. 2 hours later, the teleportation formation outside suddenly lit up. Lu Tianyong perked up and scanned it with his divine consciousness. He wanted to see if the scouts had returned. Buzz! The teleportation formation glowed, and 7 or 8 figures suddenly appeared inside. Then, a terrifying aura spread across the entire city. 7 or 8 extremely powerful divine consciousnesses scanned all the people in the city. Heaven! Heaven's pride! 8 heaven's pride! Lu Tianyong still preferred to call those in the divine Great Land. Those in the divine transformation realm were called Heaven's Pride. His face was full of shock. He rubbed his eyes and flew out. He thought his divine consciousness was wrong and wanted to see for himself. The Sky Pride realm. They were the most powerful beings in the Heaven Reverse universe. Usually, it would be hard to find one or two of them in tens of thousands of years. Over the years, the human race had been fortunate enough to have two chosen warriors. Even though Luli had not reached that realm yet, his comprehensive abilities were stronger than the average chosen warriors. However, including the Asmodean Lord, the entire Heaven Reverse universe only had 4 chosen warriors over the years. Now there were 8 of them. What was more, they were much more powerful than Patriarch of Law Enforcement. The other 2 and 3 teleportation arrays lit up again, leaving Lu Tianyang completely speechless. That was because the other 2 teleportation formations had teleported dozens of people over, and they were all Prodigy Realm experts. Hiss, hiss gasps could be heard in the city. This was the largest city in the south, and there were tens of thousands of soldiers stationed there. Among them, there were thousands of soldiers from the Lu clan. Tens of thousands of soldiers flew out from the barracks, but no one dared to move. Looking at the dozens of experts in the city, they felt a sense of fear from the depths of their souls. These people obviously didn't come with good intentions. They could feel a murderous aura from them. There were many Asmodeans in the city, and they were just as frightened. The arrival of such a group of powerful beings caused them to feel as if the gods, no, the devils, had descended. The semi-god realm warriors didn't hide their energy. They were like tigers coming down from the mountains, ferocious and cruel. A semi-god realm warrior flew up and grabbed Lu Feiyang's neck as if he were a chicken. A surge of energy surged in. Lu Feiyang couldn't even commit suicide. Name, family, position. The one who grabbed Lu Feiyang's neck was an old man in a red robe. His eyes glowed red, which made Lu Feiyang feel that he was not a human being, but an Asmodean. The old man spoke in the ancient language, with a standard accent. As a patriarch of the Lu family, Lu Feiyang naturally understood the ancient language. His expressions changed several times. Finally, he made up his mind and said in the ancient language, "Who are you?" "I am Lu Feiyang from the Lu family. I am Lu Li's granduncle. If you have come to the Heaven Reverse universe as guests, we will welcome you." Lu Li's granduncle? Ha ha ha. I can wear out iron shoes in fruitless searching, only to find you by chance. The old man burst into laughter. The dozens of semi-god realm warriors' eyes glowed. The red-robed old man said, "Where is Lu Li? Take us to him. We are old friends with Lu Li." Wait, Lu Feiyang's heart was weighed down. He had thought that he could use Lu Li's name to scare these people. However, when he mentioned Lu Li's name, the murderous intent of these people became even stronger. They were here to make trouble for Lu Li, to kill him. Lu Feiyang was filled with regret. He forced himself to calm down and thought quickly. Soon, he squeezed out a smile and said, "Lord, since you know Lu Li, then you are friends. Please let me go. I will take you to young Master Li right now." Ha ha! The red-robed old man laughed in a strange way and loosened his grip. The moment Lu Feiyang was let go, his bead of life burst into flames. He was trying to blow himself up. Lu Feiyang knew that he would not make it out alive in the hands of these people. If so, he might as well blow himself up. In this way, not only could he hide the information from Lu Li, but he would also be spared from torture. His death would shatter the jade talisman of life at the Lu family, which would serve as a warning to Lu Li and Patriarch of Law Enforcement. You want to kill yourself? The red-robed old man reached out his hand and grabbed Lu Feiyang's neck again. A surge of violent energy came from the hand and surged into Lu Feiyang's body. Then, Lu Feiyang's bead of life was sealed. Oh no, Lu Feiyang sighed to himself. He was shocked as well. This old man was so powerful that he could stop Lu Feiyang from blowing himself up. What an amazing skill! Brother 6 of the Wu family. A semi-god realm warrior in the plaza sneered and said, "Why are you wasting time with him? You can just search his soul and you will know everything." "Do I need you to remind me?" The red-robed old man, brother 6 of the Wu family, sneered and explained, "I just want a mole." Whoosh, brother 6 of the Wu family slapped at Lu Feiyang's head. Surges of green energy came out from his hand and entered Lu Feiyang's head. Brother 6 of the Wu family closed his eyes. A moment later, Lu Feiyang's head exploded. Brother 6 of the Wu family opened his eyes as well. "Ha ha, you are right." Brother 6 of the Wu family laughed and said, "That bastard Lu Li is in the Heaven Reverse universe and he is the leader of the humans there. The wicked bead is in his hands. He should be at the Great Land, right? Then what are we waiting for?" Chapter 1034. The Southern City, the Minggu City, has been destroyed. All the semi-god realm warriors are teleporting to a nearby entrance as fast as they can. They must have searched the souls of the higher-ups of the human race. Well, the powerful warriors of the eastern land of oceans have left. They are destroying the entrances. The semi-god realm warriors will arrive in half a day. But the entrances have been destroyed. He kept reporting to Patriarch of the eastern land of oceans. The invading semi-god realm warriors reacted quickly. It had only been a couple of hours and they were already at the entrances. If it were not for Patriarch of Law Enforcement's decisiveness, the entrances would not have been destroyed in time. In half a day, the semi-god realm warriors would have entered the demon-slaying battleground. Could the demon-slaying battleground stop the semi-god realm warriors when all the entrances were destroyed? Of course not. The eastern land of oceans and the Great Land were both located in the Heaven Reverse universe. The only difference was that they were separated by a vast ocean. Therefore, for all the time, when the humans were attacking the Asmodeans or the Asmodeans were attacking the humans, they would go through the demon-slaying battleground. Both lands had many entrances to the demon-slaying battleground. That being said, the distance between the two lands was not a problem for the semi-god realm warriors. If the semi-god realm warriors were to cross the ocean at full speed, it would take them several months at most. Therefore, destroying the entrances would not stop them from reaching the Great Land. What was more, the semi-god realm warriors could break down spatial barriers between universes. Now that the entrances between the eastern land of oceans and the demon-slaying battleground had been destroyed, the semi-god realm warriors could still force their way through and it would not take them too long. Patriarch of Law Enforcement paced up and down in the room. A moment later, he asked, "Has Lu Li come out from cultivation?" Patriarch of Law Enforcement had told Patriarch's son to go and find Lu Li. However, there was not enough time. The semi-god realm warriors were too fast. Therefore, Patriarch of Law Enforcement asked Hiyu's subsidiary body hiding in the Inferno to go to the base camp to inform Lu Li. "No." Hiyu shook her head. "I have alerted Madame Jiang. She has gone to find our lord. But he is in the wicked bead." Madame Jiang attacked the wicked bead and crushed the jade talisman. But he did not come out. Maybe he is at a critical moment in his cultivation. What should we do? The law enforcement elder used his divine telekinesis to scan the outside. The evacuation of the city was in progress. Although the city was in a mess and many soldiers were bewildered, the evacuation was still going smoothly. It was estimated that in one day at most, everyone except the Earth Immortals would be able to enter the Divine Land. Without Lu Li, Patriarch of Law Enforcement could not contact God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer. Neither could Emperor of Heaven Reverse. Throughout the ages, only the Grand Master could contact Emperor of Heaven Reverse. Patriarch of Law Enforcement tried, but there was no response from the statue. 100 semi-god realm cultivators, and each one of them was more powerful than Patriarch of Law Enforcement. If he learned the art of shield, he might be able to resist some of the semi-god realm cultivators, but those 10 cultivators at the peak of the semi-god realm could kill him with one move. Patriarch of Law Enforcement was expecting Luli to come out from cultivation, but at the same time, he didn't want Luli to come. Patriarch of Law Enforcement even had the urge to destroy the secret passageway connecting to the deserted world. The other 2 passageways would be destroyed soon. Once the last one was destroyed, the Prison of Wood, Inferno and the deserted world would have no connection with the Heaven Reverse universe. Luli could not come back even if he wanted to. In this way, the Heaven Reverse universe would go through a catastrophe. They would all die, but Luli would be saved. For Patriarch of Law Enforcement, Luli was the hope of the Heaven Reverse universe, the one most likely to become an immortal. When Luli became an immortal, it would not be too late to avenge them. That being said, Luli had reached an agreement with God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer. Also, he could ask for the help of Emperor of Heaven Reverse. Kumang had built powerful formations of illusion and destruction, and there was the Dragon Demon. Patriarch of Law Enforcement had not given up yet. At the ocean land of the East, he used subsidiary bodies were being destroyed constantly. Anyway, the semi-god realm cultivators would kill one as soon as they found one. Usually, wherever the semi-god realm cultivators went, the subsidiary bodies would be killed. That being said, Hiyu could still track down the semi-god realm cultivators when the subsidiary bodies were killed. At the very least, she knew where they were. Hiyu was in a panic. If Luli did not come out, how could Patriarch of Law Enforcement, Master of Fairy Fox and Master of Heichi defeat the semi-god realm cultivators? Even if Luli came, could he defeat the semi-god realm cultivators? Half a day later, over 100 semi-god realm cultivators arrived at the entrance. There was a military camp guarding there, but the entrance had been destroyed. In a fit of rage, a semi-god realm cultivator had slaughtered thousands of warriors in the camp. Hiyu had many subsidiary bodies, and some were hiding underground, even under the latrines. Unfortunately, under the psychic power of the semi-god realm cultivators, all the subsidiary bodies were found and killed. Hiyu had lost track of the information. She had to mobilize some subsidiary bodies to sneak to the outside of the entrance to monitor. As soon as the semi-god realm cultivators left the entrance, she would know at once. So, 2 hours later, Hiyu opened her eyes and said, "I think they are trying to open up the passageway to the demon-slaying battleground. It has been 2 hours and there is a strong fluctuation in space in the valley. I wonder how long it will take." Patriarch of Law Enforcement was troubled. If they could open up the spatial barrier and enter the demon-slaying battleground, the semi-god realm cultivators would arrive at the demon-slaying city in a few days given their speed. Someone, Patriarch of Law Enforcement shouted after some thoughts, "Is Jiang Tianshun back?" The Featherland of the West, Jiang Tianshun, and the powerful warrior in charge of the barbarian land of the North, Patriarch of Law Enforcement, had sent a message to evacuate at once. After all, the barbarian land of the North and the voodoo land of the South were supervised by Puppet. The Feather race had no more powerful warriors. Even if something went wrong, they could take back the demon-slaying battleground at any time. A Patriarch reported, "He is on his way. I think he will be back soon." Patriarch of Law Enforcement nodded. "Tell Jiang Tianshun to come and see me as soon as he comes back." Hiyu began to mobilize subsidiary bodies to hide around the demon-slaying battleground. Once the semi-god realm cultivators broke down the spatial barrier and entered the demon-slaying battleground, she would know at once. Time flew by in a tense atmosphere. 10 hours later, Hiyu opened her eyes and said, "They are indeed breaking down the spatial barrier. The space to the west of the Asmodean city is trembling. But the trembling is weak. In 2 or 3 days at most, the semi-god realm cultivators will be able to enter the demon-slaying battleground." 2 or 3 days. Patriarch of Law Enforcement was troubled. They would enter the demon-slaying battleground in 2 or 3 days, and then fly over in 1 day at most. In other words, he only had 3 days left. Whoosh! A man came. It was Jiang Tianshun. He looked at Patriarch of Law Enforcement in fear and asked, "They are here?" Patriarch of Law Enforcement nodded. He took out a map and said, "Yes. Jiang Tianshun, you go as well. Go to this place at the Great Land. If I crush the Jade Talisman to warn you, go to the deserted world from here and destroy the teleportation tunnel from the inside. Also, tell Luli to cultivate hard and avenge us later. Don't be impulsive." What? Jiang Tianshun took a look at the map. Soon, he understood that this was a hidden tunnel to the deserted world. Seeing how determined Patriarch of Law Enforcement was, Jiang Tianshun shook his head and said, "Patriarch of Law Enforcement, where there is life, there is hope. You should go with him. Those powerful warriors are not going to slaughter humans at the Great Land. I will not go." Chapter 1035. Luli was at a critical point in his cultivation. During the past 9 months, he had been in the wicked bead without coming out even once. He tried his best. Every time, he would sleep for a day when he could not stand it any longer. When he woke up, he would resume cultivation. Admittedly, the transcendent state was a powerful skill. In this state, Luli's learning speed was doubled. His mind was clear and agile. He could figure out many things that he could not understand. During the 9 months, Luli learned another 2 profound meanings, related to Earth and 10 of the 12 skills. Luli could not believe it. In the old days, it would have taken him years. But now, it only took him 9 months. He had 2 more skills to learn. Therefore, Luli was working extra hard. He knew that someone was looking for him. Jiang Qiling had crushed the Jade Talisman, which meant that something big had happened. It was possible that those people were here. That being said, there were only 2 skills left. Luli wanted to learn them all at once. He was in the best condition. If everything went smoothly, in half a month at most, he could master the 2 skills. By then, he could make puppets that could be as powerful as semi-god realm warriors. He was close to learning the 11th skill. It was a critical moment, which was why he did not stop cultivation. He thought that even if warriors of the 9 universes came, Patriarch of Law Enforcement could find a way to stall for a few days. Okay. On the 3rd day of the invasion, Luli finally opened his eyes. He had finished learning the 11th skill. There was only 1 more to go. Time to finish cultivation. Luli could not afford to waste any more time. He must go out and see. If warriors of the 9 universes came to the Great Land directly, then by the time he went out, he would be surrounded by rivers of blood and mountains of corpses. He did not have time to wash up. He dashed out of the wicked bead. Jiang Qiling, Bai Qiushue, and Bai Xiaoshuang were all in the room. As soon as Luli came out, they surrounded him. "Darling," Jiang Qiling said with worry, "2 days ago, Patriarch's son and you both sent a message. They are here from the eastern land of oceans." "Okay, I understand." Luli forced a smile. He hugged his 3 wives and said, "You 3 go to the prison of wood. I will deal with this." The 3 women did not know what had happened. Bai Xiaoshuang was a carefree person. She said with a smile, "Husband, you have been in seclusion for so long. You must accompany us when you come back." Bai Qiushue was meticulous and so was Jiang Qiling. They didn't know what was going on but they knew it must be something big. Autumn Snow pursed her lips and asked, "Husband, is it difficult?" Jiang Qiling said nothing but her eyes were filled with questions. Luli smiled, shrugged his shoulders and said, "Have faith in your husband, okay? This time, it's just a small problem. I've been planning this for many years. Plus, I've made a huge breakthrough in my combat power. There won't be a problem. Just wait for my good news in the prison of wood." No, we will wait for you here. Jiang Qiling said stubbornly. If you don't come back, we will go find you. If Jiang Qiling did not finish her sentence. Over the years, Lu Li had been planning for a long time, including moving many elite disciples to the prison of wood. Jiang Qiling and the others could tell that something was wrong. Lu Li was planning a way out. Also, he told them to go to the prison of wood. It was more like he was making arrangements for his funeral. Trust me. Lu Li emphasized again. Then, he looked at Jiang Qiling seriously and said, Qiling, don't be stubborn. Don't make things difficult for me, okay? Okay. Jiang Qiling's eyes reddened. Lu Li's words sounded more like he was entrusting his children to her. He was indirectly asking her to stabilize the rear. This time, it must be extremely dangerous. I will go now. Lu Li kissed them on their cheeks with a smile and then walked out in strides. Jiang Qiling looked at him as he left, tears gushing down her cheeks. Bai Qiushua's eyes were watery as well. Bai Xiaoshuang was the only one who asked with a frown, Sisters, what are you doing? It's not like my husband is not coming back. Come, let's go to the prison of wood. I found some good places there. Lu Li flew out. First, he went to the valley where the dragon demon was. He brought the dragon demon and Little White with him. Back at the base camp, Lu Li used psychic power to check the base camp. He found Patriarch's son easily. While flying toward the entrance, Lu Li shouted, Patriarch's son, come here. Whoosh, Patriarch's son came. Lu Li asked, How is it going? I don't know the details. Patriarch's son explained. Patriarch of Law Enforcement asked me to evacuate the demon-slaying hall and to pass a message to you. Madam Ling must have told you. Right. I have destroyed the 2 entrances. Now, everyone in the demon-slaying city is being relocated to the Inferno. Okay. Lu Li nodded. Send my order. Let the civilians of the deserted world be relocated as well. Seal off the entrances and exits to the Inferno. I will contact you through He-Yu's subsidiary bodies. If there are any disturbances, ask my grandpa to take care of them. With that said, Lu Li teleported out from the passageway. However, when he went out, he saw someone he didn't expect. It was Zilian. Zilian seemed to have been waiting for him. She was not surprised to see him. Lu Li threw her a glance and asked, Zilian, what are you doing here? Nothing. Zilian smiled. I have been bored recently and I want to go to the demon-slaying battleground. Since you are going, I will go with you. Don't overthink it. I will not bother you at the demon-slaying battleground. A glint of surprise appeared in Lu Li's eyes. 2 exits were destroyed. How could Zilian be so sure that he had other exits? Also, she seemed to have guessed many things. Was she going to die with him? Nonsense. Lu Li pulled a long face and scolded. The demon-slaying battleground is not fun. You cannot go anywhere. Go back to the prison of wood and stay there. That is an order. Buzzing, Zilian took out a dagger and put it to her neck. Looking at Lu Li with determination, she said, If you don't let me go, I will die right away. Even if you capture me, you can't stop me from dying. Lu Li, this is my last request. Don't worry. I will not do anything rash. Also, I have learned an ancient skill. I can protect myself even if I have to face a semi-god realm warrior. Nonsense. Lu Li was enraged. But Zilian's eyes were filled with the desire to die. If he did not take her with him, she would seek death. He had no time to waste on Zilian. Since she wanted to die with him, Lu Li didn't want to interfere. He said coldly, Let's go. If you want to die, I will not stop you. Ha ha. Zilian grinned like a blooming flower. She put away her dagger without saying anything and followed Lu Li into the teleportation formation. After several rounds of teleportation, Lu Li arrived at the hidden exit, only to see Jiang Tianshun guarding it. Lu Li, you have come out from cultivation. Jiang Tianshun had been here for a day. Patriarch of Law Enforcement said that as soon as the Jade Talisman was broken, he would destroy the tunnel. Since the Jade Talisman was not broken yet, Jiang Tianshun did not do anything. After Lu Li learned the reason, he was relieved. He said, "Grandpa Jiang, stay here. Now listen to my orders. When I break the Jade Talisman, you can destroy the tunnel. After I tell you to destroy the tunnel, you must take care of Qiling and Qiushue. Don't let them do anything stupid." With that said, Lu Li took Zilian into the tunnel and vanished from Jiang Tianxuan's sight in a blur. "Lu Li, you must come back alive." Jiang Tianxun was stunned for a moment. Then, he shouted. His voice echoed in the wilderness for a long time. Chapter 1036. After Lu Li teleported out with Zilian, a teleportation formation was built. Lu Li asked the patriarchs of the Shadowland race to build it. This time, they arrived at an entrance to the demon-slaying battleground. Once there, they were teleported to the demon-slaying city. Buzzing, many psychic powers were sent over. Patriarch of Law Enforcement flew up when Lu Li came. Master of Fairy Fox and Master of Heichi were here, as well as some patriarchs of the demon-slaying hall. Patriarch of Law Enforcement could no longer keep the invasion of the 9 universes a secret. When the patriarchs learned the news, their hearts sank to the bottom. Without Lu Li, they had lost their backbone. Some patriarchs even wanted to run to the deserted world and the inferno. Unfortunately, the entrance was destroyed. Finally, Lu Li came out. Everyone was relieved. Lu Li was not even 30 years old, but he had successfully killed the Asmodean Lord. Patriarch of Law Enforcement also told everyone about how Lu Li defeated God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer and reached an agreement. Everyone found Lu Li unfathomable, even though he was only at the Earth Immortal realm. This was a young man who could create miracles. Just like Emperor of Heaven Reverse, he turned the tide, defeated the ancient races, and laid the foundation for the human race. What was more, Emperor of Heaven Reverse had said that if Lu Li could go to the divinity, he would accept Lu Li as his protege. Didn't this mean that Lu Li had the potential to become an immortal? Lu Li nodded to Patriarch of Law Enforcement. He did not talk to the other patriarchs. He flew to the hall where Hiyu was. The others followed him. Hiyu opened her eyes, stood up and bowed to Lu Li. "How is it going?" Somehow, Hiyu was relieved to see Lu Li. She explained, "The space at the Asmodean city is shaking violently. I think the semi-god realm warriors will enter the demon-slaying battleground in the afternoon." In the afternoon? Lu Li was troubled. He had one more skill to learn about the method of stone golems. He had not reached the 2nd level yet, so he could not make semi-god realm stone golems. Based on his past experience, it would take him at least 10 days to master this skill. Given the speed of the semi-god realm warriors, it would take them 2 days at most to come from the Asmodean city. Why not half a month later? Lu Li was troubled, but he did not have the time to think. He asked Patriarch of Law Enforcement, "Have you contacted Emperor of Heaven Reverse?" "No." Patriarch of Law Enforcement shook his head. Then, he turned to Lu Li, who understood. They entered a room and activated the inhibition formation. The patriarchs didn't think too much about it. There were some secrets of the demon-slaying hall that only the Grand Master had the right to know, such as contacting the Emperor of Heaven Reverse. Inside the room, Patriarch of Law Enforcement took out a golden jade talisman, handed it to Lu Li and said, "This is the token of Heaven Reverse left behind by Emperor of Heaven Reverse. Only the current Grand Master with this jade talisman can contact Emperor of Heaven Reverse. Therefore, I need you here." Patriarch of Law Enforcement gave Lu Li a yellowed parchment with instructions on how to contact Emperor of Heaven Reverse. Lu Li put it away after a few glances. He already knew how to communicate with the god of barbarians and the god of sorcerer. Should he contact Emperor of Heaven Reverse now? Lu Li was in deep thoughts. He paced up and down in the room. After a while, he asked, "Great-grandpa, how much energy has the shield recovered? How long can the hundreds of semi-god realm cultivators last?" Luli needed time, at least 10 days, to learn the second level of the method of stone golems. He didn't want to contact Emperor of Heaven Reverse rashly, or he would be belittled. He would ask Emperor of Heaven Reverse for help if things went south. What was more, Emperor of Heaven Reverse was a mighty warrior in the divinity. However, he could only generate an avatar. Even if he could kill some semi-god realm warriors, he could not. What if the other semi-god realm cultivators ran away? Could Emperor of Heaven Reverse's avatar hunt them all over the world? Clearly, that was unrealistic. Luli had fought against God of Sorcerer and God of Barbarian. Their avatars could not reach far. Even if Emperor of Heaven Reverse was stronger, he could at most reach a radius of hundreds of miles. Therefore, Luli hoped that the demon-slaying city could survive for 10 days or half a month. Not for long. Patriarch of Law Enforcement's answer disappointed Luli. Patriarch of Law Enforcement sighed, "Why is the demon-slaying city so strong? After all, it is the divine energy left by Emperor of Heaven Reverse. Last time, the Asmodean Lord mobilized millions of warriors to attack the city. The divine energy is almost depleted. Over the years, the demon-slaying city has absorbed a lot of Xian Qi in heaven and earth to replenish its energy. But the attacks from over 100 semi-god realm warriors, and 10 at the peak of them, are equal to an army of tens of millions. I think the demon-slaying city can last for a couple of days at best. If the attacks are particularly strong at that moment, the demon-slaying city might be destroyed directly." "Okay." Luli touched his nose. He realized that there was only one way left, to rely on the wicked bead for a while. He was cultivating in the wicked bead. As long as the wicked bead was intact, he would be safe. Also, when the wicked bead appeared, the semi-god realm warriors would not go anywhere. They would only chase after the wicked bead. Luli took out the wicked bead to check. It had been over a year, and the energy of the wicked bead had recovered. 60% of its capacity had been recovered. Dozens of semi-god realm warriors of the Mage Imperial Universe chased after the wicked bead, and yet they could not crack it open. Now there were only a few more semi-god realm warriors. Could they crack it? 100 semi-god realm warriors were powerful. Luli estimated that as long as they could not crack the wicked bead in an instant, the wicked bead with 60% of its energy should last for half a year. There is no other way. This is it. Luli made up his mind. He walked out with Patriarch of Law Enforcement. Looking at the dozens of Earth Immortal Realm warriors, Luli said, "Patriarch of Law Enforcement and I will go out to fight. You stay here and guard the demon-slaying city. If things go south, I will tell you to run. By then, you can go to your own small worlds and live out the rest of your days here." Grand Master. The patriarchs were moved by Luli's resolute words. They could run away, but Luli and Patriarch of Law Enforcement would fight to the death out there. A bunch of old warriors were hiding in the city, afraid to fight. Luli, a young man, was going to fight to the death. How could the patriarchs accept this? "Grand Master, I will go with you." "Grand Master, I will go with you. I have lived for 700 or 800 years. I am tired of living. If you want to break into the demon-slaying city, you will have to do it over my dead body." "Ha ha, you are only 700 or 800 years old. I am over 1,000 years old. Back in the days, I followed Grand Master Xing to many battlefields. Now, Grand Master has passed away. I don't want to live anymore. I will go with Grand Master Xing." The hall was filled with shouts and shouts. None of the old warriors wanted to go to some small worlds to linger on. They had been patriarchs of the demon-slaying hall for years. The demon-slaying city was their home. Nonsense. Even though many of them were old enough to be Luli's grandpa, Luli scolded them with a straight face. "The warriors of the 9 universes are here for me. When I die, they will leave. By then, you will have to clean up the shattered land. This is an order. If you don't obey, I will drive you out of the demon-slaying hall right now. What is more, I am a cat. I have 9 lives. When I was wreaking havoc in the Earth Imperial Universe, I met those bastards. Back then, they couldn't kill me. Do you think they can do it now? His words were sonorous and powerful. Chapter 1037. Luli left with Master of Fairy Fox, Patriarch of Law Enforcement, and Master of Heichi. Kumang was with the statue of the god of Barbarian. Luli also took the soul slaves he brought back from the 9 universes with him. Those soul slaves had become Patriarch of Law Enforcement's soul slave. Luli, who was supposed to be the Lu family's Earth Immortal Realm warrior, had other plans. Warriors of the 9 universes had come to the Heaven Reverse universe. Why would he show mercy? Naturally, he had to be brought along. Otherwise, she would not be able to monitor the situation. Her subsidiary bodies were all over the Heaven Reverse universe. The demon-slaying battleground was filled with her subsidiary bodies. She knew the whereabouts of the warriors of the 9 universes like the back of her hand. Luli also let out many shadow bats and brought the master of the shadow bats with him. First, he flew the wicked bead to the valley 3,000 miles away from the city where Kumang was. At the edge of the valley, Luli could see from the distance that a mountain was covered in white fog. He used psychic power to check but found nothing. Also, he could not detect any fluctuation of inhibition formations. Amazing! Although he knew that Kumang had learned many things from the altar, he never expected Kumang to improve so much. Now, the illusion array he had set up did not even have any fluctuations. Whoosh! Luli flew the wicked bead into the white haze. He wanted to test the power of the formation of illusion to see if it could stop him from reaching the valley. Whoosh! The wicked bead was fast. It dashed into the haze in no time. Luli used psychic power to check, but could not find the valley. The landscape here seemed to have changed. The valley had been leveled to the ground. Whoosh! The wicked bead passed through the haze and appeared on the other side of the mountain. Luli flew the wicked bead back and circled around the mountain. He could not find the valley. He sent a message, Kumang, activate the formation of destruction and try it. Yes, Saint Leader. Kumang's excited voice rang out, and in the next moment, a frightening killing intent emanated from the white mist. The white mist surged, and bolts of purple lightning whizzed out from the white mist. Those bolts of lightning were as thick as an arm, and their power was astonishing. Chi! At the same time, strings of reddish-brown flames emerged from the mountain range below. Fire serpents spiraled up and launched a pincer attack with the lightning dragons above. Wrong. In addition to the 2 attacks, Luli also noticed that there was some pink smoke in the white mist. Clearly, there was poison in the white mist. The sky was filled with dragons of thunder and the noise lingered on. Dragons of fire were whooshing over. The wicked bead could not dodge and was hit by the dragons of thunder and fire. Bang, 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 the wicked bead let out a muffled noise. Luli checked the energy consumption of the wicked bead. He nodded in satisfaction and said, "Okay, stop now." As soon as Luli finished his words, the thunder dragon in the sky dived into the white haze. The fire dragon on the ground shattered and the pink haze turned into pure white. Everything returned to its original state, as if that terrifying scene had never happened. The haze was thinning out. Eventually, a valley appeared in Luli's psychic power. Luli flew the wicked bead down and dashed out to stand next to Kumang. "Well done, Kumang." Luli patted Kumang's shoulder in a friendly manner. Kumang bowed and said, "Thank you, Saint Lord." Luli looked at the 2 altars in the valley and asked with satisfaction, "The formation of destruction is good. But I don't think you have unleashed all of it." The attack was powerful, but Patriarch of Law Enforcement said that he could not stand it for long. Naturally, Luli did not believe that was the full extent of the formation. Yes, Kumang said with glowing eyes, that was only 1/10 of the formation of destruction. If the enemy is only at the initial stage of the semi-god realm, and their defense is not that strong, I can use the formation of destruction to kill them instantly. Instantly? This time, even Luli was taken aback. What a powerful formation of destruction that could kill a semi-god realm warrior. Kumang was only at the noble lord realm. Luli would never believe that a noble lord realm warrior could kill a semi-god realm warrior in an instant. Kumang deserved to be called a genius in inhibition formations of the Shadowland race. Okay, stay here. I will let Hiyu contact you at any time. Luli patted Kumang's shoulder again and walked to the altar of God of Sorcerer. Luli began to communicate with God of Sorcerer using a secret method. He told God of Sorcerer that his enemies were here and that Luli would lure them here so that God of Sorcerer and Luli could kill them together. Luli communicated with God of Sorcerer for a while and then went to talk to God of Barbarian. Luli opened his eyes and went into the wicked bead. The wicked bead flew toward the Asmodean city. Luli did not have much time to waste. Inside the wicked bead, Luli flew the wicked bead toward the west at a moderate speed while he cultivated in the inner hall. There was one more skill for the method of stone golems. It would take at least 10 days. If he reached a bottleneck, 10 days might not be enough. Only Hiyu and Patriarch of Law Enforcement were in the inner hall. Little White was sleeping in a corner. It had absorbed a lot of thunderbolts and needed time to digest them. That being said, no matter how hard it tried, Little White's abilities could not be put to use. Given Little White's defensive abilities, it could easily kill a group of semi-god realm warriors. Patriarch of Law Enforcement did not cultivate. He sat with his legs crossed and watched Hiyu nervously. Hiyu sat on the side and tried to sense the situation at the Great Land through the connection with her subsidiary bodies. Luli used the teleportation skill. If he was woken up, he would not know even if the sky was falling. He focused on the last skill. So far, he was making good progress. At dusk, Hiyu opened her eyes. She was worried. Patriarch of Law Enforcement asked softly, "They are here?" Hiyu nodded but did not dare to wake Luli up. Luli had told her not to disturb him unless the wicked bead encountered the semi-god realm warriors. So be it if they were here. She just had to keep an eye on them. They are all here. I don't think there are any semi-god realm warriors at the eastern land of oceans. Hiyu explained and then closed her eyes again. She had to arrange her subsidiary bodies along the way. In this way, she could know where the semi-god realm warriors were. The wicked bead was neither fast nor slow. The semi-god realm warriors did not rest. They flew toward the demon-slaying city at once. Hiyu believed that in one day at most, the semi-god realm warriors would encounter them. By then, if the wicked bead could not stand it, they would all perish. Luli did not worry about anything. He cultivated in peace. Hiyu was keeping an eye on the situation nervously. Patriarch of Law Enforcement sat by himself with his legs crossed, worried. This time, there was a huge gap in strength between the two sides. Patriarch of Law Enforcement could not make a difference even if he were to risk his life. If it were not for God of Barbarian, God of Sorcerer, and Kumang's formation of destruction, Patriarch of Law Enforcement would have lost all hope. A day later, there came some noises from the space in front of the wicked bead. Some horrifying energy came from the distance. Hiyu suddenly opened her eyes. She pushed Luli and shouted, "Lord, they are here. They are 3 miles ahead of us." What? Chapter 1038. Hiss, hiss, the wicked bead, ha ha. This is the wicked bead. Luli, how dare you come to us? This is the wicked bead, a relic? I don't see anything special about it. a group of semi-god realm warriors came and surrounded the wicked bead in a fan-shaped formation. Lu Li used psychic power to check them. He saw many strange faces and some familiar ones. Chen Tianxian and Wu Guangde of the Mage Imperial Universe, Feng Wanhu of the Feng family and Qi Donghai of the Qi family, Jun Hongye of the Earth Imperial Universe, Li Family Patriarch, and the other two family patriarchs of the Mage Imperial Universe were all here. Jun Hongye and Li Family Patriarch fought against Wu Guangde and Chen Tianxian and were hunted down by Feng family and Qi family progenitors. But now they were standing together without any ill feelings. There were also many unfamiliar powerful warriors. Many of them were unfathomable. Lu Li did a mental calculation and noticed that there were 10 warriors with the same energy as Wu Guangde and Chen Tianxian. In other words, there were 10 warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm. Almost 110. How come there are so many semi-god realm warriors in the 9 universes? Lu Li was surprised. According to the information he learned, there should be dozens of semi-god realm warriors in the 9 universes, less than 60 at most. Now, there were more than 100. Could it be that the semi-god realm warriors from the Prison of Gold were here as well? Or were warriors from other universes involved? It was said that the Paleobeast realm ruled dozens of universes. Lu Li did not know how many mortal universes there were in this boundless void. All he knew was that he was in big trouble. The Heaven Reverse universe could be destroyed. Not even a blade of grass would survive. Lu Li. Feng Wanhu, the progenitor of the Feng family, bellowed, "I have said it before. Sooner or later, I will pay you back 10 times for the disasters you brought to the Central Imperial Universe. Come out and accept your death. Or else, I will make sure that the Heaven Reverse universe will be barren and your entire race will be wiped out." Wu Guangde, Chen Tianxian, and Jun Hongye glared at Lu Li coldly. Back then, when they were fighting for the wicked bead, the families suffered great losses and casualties, and it was all because of Lu Li. That incident had shamed the patriarchs for years. This time, they were all gathered at the Heaven Reverse universe to wash away the shame and to let Lu Li die without a burial site. As long as Lu Li was alive, it would be like having a fishbone stuck in their throat. If they could not kill Lu Li, they could forget about living a comfortable life. Lu Li laughed and said with sarcasm, "Didn't the crippled Zen master tell you? Now that Emperor Heng has chosen me, he will not let you take away the wicked bead. You did not give up and came to the Heaven Reverse universe. This time, you won't be able to return. Why are you talking so much nonsense?" A semi-god realm warrior shouted. Shooting out a ray of dark light, he shouted, "Everyone, attack. Crack the bead and then destroy the Heaven Reverse universe. Our mission will be accomplished." "Do it." The other semi-god realm warriors didn't hesitate. More than 100 of them flew over and launched their attacks almost at the same time. Swish! Lu Li flew the wicked bead back at once. How could he let the wicked bead stand still when so many powerful warriors were attacking at the same time? He reacted quickly, but the semi-god realm warriors were even faster. The sky was filled with Xian energy. Though they were all long-range attacks, the power was appalling. The space was trembling. Space was being torn apart. It was like the end of the world. Lu Li had stepped back at once. Still, dozens of Xian energy had hit the wicked bead. There were explosions nearby, creating a horrifying shockwave. The shockwave leveled several hills nearby. The attacks of semi-god realm warriors were ferocious. Lu Li's mind was tense. If the wicked bead could not withstand such powerful attacks and was cracked open in an instant, he, Patriarch of Law Enforcement, and the others would all perish without a burial site. Patriarch of Law Enforcement had already released his mystic armor, ready to fight to the death at any time. He was trembling in anxiety. "Good!" Lu Li shouted all of a sudden. The wicked bead did not disappoint him. The wicked bead had survived that round of attacks. Though the energy was exhausted, the wicked bead survived. So much energy has been consumed. Lu Li sensed the loss of energy in the wicked bead and exclaimed to himself. If the wicked bead were to stand still and let the 100 semi-god realm warriors attack, the wicked bead would last for half a year at most. Of course, Lu Li would not stand there and let the semi-god realm warriors attack him. The wicked bead was quite fast. The average warriors at the initial stage of the semi-god realm could not catch up with it. Half of the 100 warriors might not be able to catch up. Let's go, Lu Li dared not to hesitate. He flew the wicked bead into the distance. Back then, he dared not to fly toward the demon-slaying city. Instead, he flew toward the entrance to the Featherland of the West. Go! You want to run? Never. Follow me. Crack the wicked bead and the mission will be accomplished. The reward will be generous. A relic, a relic. A relic is extraordinary. There are so many powerful warriors, but none of them manage to crack it open at once. The semi-god realm warriors kept yelling and following the wicked bead closely. Chen Tianxian, Wu Guangda, and Jun Hongye were at the front. That being said, they knew how strong the wicked bead's defense was. They could not crack it any time soon. Therefore, they were not in a hurry. They did not use any powerful skills. They just poured out Xian energy to strike at the wicked bead. The wicked bead was fast. Gradually, the semi-god realm warriors were left behind. The 100 semi-god realm warriors had different speeds. Naturally, the wicked bead was left behind. The wicked bead was here. Their mission seemed to be to take the wicked bead. Therefore, they did not run around and just followed Lu Li, Yu, making sure that the semi-god realm warriors could not crack the wicked bead anytime soon. Lu Li stopped using psychic power. He said to Yu, "Keep an eye on the semi-god realm warriors. Wake me up when we arrive at the entrance to the Featherland of the West if nothing goes wrong. I need to cultivate for about 10 days. Yu nodded. She had millions of subsidiary bodies in the demon-slaying battleground. For now, that should be enough. That being said, as time went by, too many of them would be killed. By then, they would not be able to monitor the situation in the demon-slaying battleground. Lu Li did not care about anything else. He flew the wicked bead toward the entrance to the Featherland of the West at the top of his speed. He entered the transcendent state to study the stone golems. He was on the run and on the hunt. Lu Li was right. Only half of the semi-god realm warriors could keep up with the wicked bead. The rest were falling behind. That being said, the semi-god realm warriors did not give up. They followed him all the way, trying to find out where Lu Li was going. The Heaven Reverse universe was only so big. Even if Lu Li had gone to a small world, they could still break through the spatial barrier and force their way into that small world. This time, they had made up their minds. They would take the wicked bead at all costs and kill Lu Li. Otherwise, they would be too ashamed to go back to their respective universes, and they would not be able to wash away the shame Lu Li brought them. Shame. The Feng family progenitor was enraged at this thought. Back then, Lu Li made a mess at the Central Imperial Universe. Not only did the Lung dynasty fall, but the Feng family also suffered a great loss of warriors and reputation. Chapter 1039. Boom, boom, boom. In a mountain range to the west of the demon-slaying battleground, a streak of cyan light flew by. Behind it were countless rays of light. Many rays of light landed on the mountain range, cracking the mountains, cracking the earth, stopping the rivers, and destroying the boulders and forests. Ever since Emperor of Heaven Reverse ascended, the demon-slaying battleground had become an arena for humans and the 4 alien races. After so many years of fighting, the battleground was in shambles and the ground was covered in cracks. This time, however, it was more severe than in the past hundreds of thousands of years. Wherever the wicked bead went, mountains would be flattened, the earth cracked, and rivers would be diverted, The semi-god realm warriors had been chasing after Luli for 5 days. When Luli arrived at the entrance of the Featherland of the West, he stopped cultivation and changed his route to the north. Therefore, a group of semi-divinity realm cultivators chased after them to the north. The semi-divinity realm cultivators at the back were even ordered to go to the front to intercept them. Dozens of semi-god realm warriors had been following him. They were afraid that Luli would disappear. The dozens of semi-god realm warriors chased after the wicked bead for 5 days. Every time, apart from glowing, nothing else happened to the wicked bead. It didn't even tremble. Jun Hongye and Chen Tianxian once chased after the wicked bead. They knew how powerful the relic was. For some semi-god realm warriors, this was the first time they had seen the wicked bead. Only now did they realize that the rumors were true. The wicked bead's defense was incredible. For them, 5 days was just a blink of an eye. However, when Luli arrived at the north, he turned around and flew to the west again, which made them feel something was off. Was Luli leading them in circles? Many people had thought that Luli had some kind of plan or was trying to escape to somewhere. However, he had been circling around the demon-slaying battleground for a few times. Not only did he not say anything, he did not set up any traps, nor did he run to any strange places. What was Luli trying to do? As a matter of fact, many were worried that Luli would go to the purgatory of primordial chaos. In the purgatory of primordial chaos, they could not enter the first 4 levels. Otherwise, they wouldn't have to go through so much trouble to break down barriers between more than a dozen universes and take such a long time to arrive at the Heaven Reverse universe. Once Luli entered the Inferno and the prison of wood, they would not be able to go in. That was why they were following Luli so closely. Now, it seemed that Luli had no intention of going into the purgatory of primordial chaos. He was just circling around. There must be a reason behind this abnormality. Many people put their guards up. They kept checking with psychic power to see if Luli had any plans. 2 days later, when Luli arrived at the west, he turned around and flew to the east again. Clearly, he was circling around the demon-slaying battleground with a group of warriors. Guards! All of a sudden, Wu Guangda stopped and shouted, "Tell those who can't catch up to Luli to stop. Tell them to go directly to that demon-slaying city. After we take over the demon-slaying city, we will go to the Great Land to capture Luli's family." Chen Tianxian, Jun Hongye, and Feng Wanhu came to their senses as well. Since they could not catch up with Luli, it was pointless for them to follow him. They might as well send all of them to the Great Land to capture all of Luli's family and force him to give up the wicked bead. Why did they go through so much trouble to reach the Heaven Reverse universe? This was Luli's hometown. Luli's family lived here and they could threaten Luli. After Brother 6 of the Wu family searched Lu Feiyang's soul, he had learned everything about Luli. How many people were there in the Lu family, where the Lu family lived, who Luli cared about and who was on good terms with Luli, they all knew. However, Lu Feiyang had been staying at the ocean land of the East all these years. He knew nothing about what was happening at the Great Land. Therefore, he did not know that the Lu, Jiang, Yi, and Kong families had all been relocated to the prison of wood. Lu Jingyang had given an order to keep the information under wraps. Should I inform them? Lead a team to the demon-slaying city? A semi-god realm warrior of the Qi family was getting impatient after several days of chasing. He asked. Wu Guangda nodded. Okay, Qi Shanhe, I will leave this to you. You will be in charge of the semi-god realm warriors. Tell them that this is the order of our family patriarch. You must find a way to capture Luli's family and family. This is of utmost importance. Okay. Don't worry. I will do it. Qi Shanhe grinned. According to the information Brother 6 of the Wu family learned, there were only 2 semi-god realm warriors in the Heaven Reverse universe. Patriarch of Law Enforcement and Luli, Patriarch of Law Enforcement, had just made the breakthrough not long ago. For Qi Shanhe, he did not think Patriarch of Law Enforcement was strong enough. Qi Shanhe could take dozens of semi-god realm warriors with him and sweep across the Great Land. He could capture anyone he wanted. Whoosh! Qi Shanhe flew backward toward the semi-god realm warriors that were tailing him. In merely 6 to 8 hours, they encountered the semi-god realm warriors. Qi Shanhe was at the middle stage of the semi-god realm. As soon as he gave the order, the semi-god realm warriors followed Qi Donghai to the demon-slaying city without any hesitation. For the warriors at the initial stage of the semi-god realm, following Lu Li all the way was boring. Instead, they were thrilled that they could go to the Great Land and kill Lu Li's family and family. That was especially true for the powerful warriors that participated in the fight for the wicked bead. They wished they could fly to the Great Land and kill everyone related to Lu Li. Oh no! As soon as the semi-god realm warriors changed their direction, He was informed. Though over half of her subsidiary bodies were killed, there were still some of them hiding in many places. How could the more than 40 semi-god realm warriors avoid her detection when they were flying toward the demon-slaying city? Lu Li was still cultivating and did not respond. Patriarch of Law Enforcement asked with a frown, "What is it?" He said with concern, 40 to 50 weaker semi-god realm warriors are flying toward the demon-slaying city. I think they are trying to break the city and enter the Great Land. What? Patriarch of Law Enforcement was taken aback. If the dozens of semi-god realm warriors were allowed to enter the Great Land, then the human race would face a catastrophe. Those warriors did not care about human lives. They went on a killing spree at the eastern land of oceans. 6 or 7 cities were destroyed. Millions of Asmodeans and humans were either injured or killed. Once they entered the Great Land, who could tell how many cities would be destroyed? They were here for the wicked bead. If they could not get the wicked bead and capture Lu Li's family, they might go on a killing spree. They might go on a rampage out of rage. After all, to them, the Heaven Reverse universe was a low-level universe. The humans here were all low-level humans, no different from beasts. What could Patriarch of Law Enforcement do? He could not leave the wicked bead. Besides, even if he could, he would be killed instantly. Lu Li said he would cultivate for 10 days? Patriarch of Law Enforcement thought about it and said, "Send a message to the patriarchs in the demon-slaying city through your subsidiary bodies. Tell them to activate the shield for a few days. In 3 days, Lu Li will come out from cultivation. By then, it will be up to Lu Li to decide whether to retreat or stay." More than 100 semi-god realm warriors, including 10 at the peak of the semi-god realm, Patriarch of Law Enforcement was at his wits' end. If Lu Li could not stop them after he came out from cultivation, then Patriarch of Law Enforcement, Lu Li, and many people of the Great Land would have to wait for death. What is Lu Li studying? Is it some amazing skill? Chapter 1040. There are more than 40 semi-god realm warriors. Patriarch of Law Enforcement told us to hold them off for a couple of days. In the cabinet of patriarchs of the demon-slaying city, Patriarch Lei said solemnly to the patriarchs. The patriarchs were worried. Dozens of semi-god realm warriors. Could the shield of the demon-slaying city hold them off for a couple of days? Those were semi-god realm warriors, not Earth Immortal realm warriors. If it were Earth Immortal realm warriors, even if there were more than 100, the patriarchs wouldn't think much of it. They would just fight with their lives and kill as many as they could. However, those were semi-god realm warriors. The patriarchs would find it hard to deal with even 1 or 2, let alone dozens. There were dozens of Earth Immortal realm warriors left in the city. How could they fight against dozens of semi-god realm warriors? Last time when the Asmodean Lord led the 4 alien races to attack, the divine energy in the shield was almost exhausted. Lu Li didn't ask Emperor of Heaven Reverse for divine energy. Who could tell how long the shield could last with the energy it absorbed? What if the shield could be broken in one strike? Once the shield was broken, the patriarchs couldn't fight back even if they wanted to. They might not even be able to kill one semi-god realm warrior. Forget about it. If we die, we'll die. It's enough for us old fellows to live for so long. Everyone, get ready. Try your best to buy as much time as possible for the Hall Master. Patriarch Lay stood up cheerfully and shouted. The other patriarchs nodded. What was the point of overthinking? Since they became warriors, how many times had they been through life and death? Death was the ultimate destination for warriors. They had lived long enough. What was there to regret? The patriarchs busied themselves. They searched for mystical materials to strengthen the shield. Patriarch of Law Enforcement told them to hold on for a couple of days, so they would do it to buy enough time for Luli and Patriarch of Law Enforcement. Whoosh, 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 just one day later, at the moment when night fell, dozens of air-piercing sounds rang out in the distance. Terrifying auras filled the air, causing the dozens of elders in the city to feel as if dozens of giant dragons were flying over. That powerful aura was like a mountain, pressing down on everyone, making it hard for them to breathe. This is the demon-slaying city? It is small. Brother 6 of the Wu family sneered. According to his memory, the demon-slaying city was one of the largest cities in the Heaven Reverse universe. That being said, it was a small city in the Mage Imperial universe. Attack. Break this city and then go to the Divine Great Land. Chi Shanha waved his hand. There were some Earth Immortal Realm warriors in the city. It was said that they worked for Luli. Luli wanted to kill some of them first and then capture some more to make Luli's heart ache for a while. Attack. A group of experts released their own attacks. Some released their bloodline divine skills, while others released their powerful ultimacies. Many of them had rank 8 or rank 9 bloodlines, and all of them understood rank 9 profound meanings. The only difference was their attacking power. The attacks of the dozens of semi-god realm warriors were very dazzling. Their profound meanings and bloodline skills were beyond the imagination of Patriarch Lay and the others. They were like streams of silver rivers falling from the sky. The power of their attacks was enough to scare a group of ordinary warriors to death. Boom, 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 boom. Dozens of attacks landed on the shield almost at the same time. In that instant, the entire demon-slaying city was illuminated. Many patriarchs were blinded. Some of the elders' bodies began to tremble, because at this moment, if the great city barrier formation could not hold on, all of them would be smashed to pieces. Fortunately, at this moment, the shield was shaking violently and glaring. But in the end, it was able to hold on. Even so, the power of the attacks still made many patriarchs pale. They felt their hearts had stopped beating. Zi Lian was in a manner in the city. Her pretty face was pale and her eyes were filled with terror. Her bosom was rising and falling, which was quite a pretty sight. That is horrifying! A patriarch exhaled. Then, he sensed the energy of the shield. His expressions were even more awful. That attack just now had consumed a lot of energy from the Great Barrier Array. If this group of people continued to attack like this, the Great Barrier Array would probably explode in 4 or 5 days. Pour energy in! Patriarch Lay yelled. The Earth Immortal Realm warriors came to their senses. They flew over and stood by the shield. Xian energy glowed in their hands as they poured their Xian energy into the shield. In this way, the shield's energy could be replenished and the formation could be more stable. Ha ha ha! The group of semi-god realm cultivators burst into laughter, and their mouths were full of mockery. Just now, the protective array of the city was shaking so violently that they could see through the defensive power of the array at a glance. How long could the shield hold on with Xian energy? Boom! Chi Shanha shouted. Once again, they began to release all kinds of horrifying attacks at the shield of the demon-slaying city. The shield was glaring. Fortunately, there was still some divine energy in the shield. Maybe the semi-god realm warriors were all at the initial stage of the semi-god realm. At that moment, their attacks were not strong enough. The shield could hold on. Qi Shanhe and the others were not in a hurry. To them, attacking for 8 to 10 days would not cause them to feel tired. They were all old monsters who had lived for many years. They could see that this formation would not last for more than a few days. Lu Li was still on the run. The wicked bead was traveling at the top of its speed. In just over a day, he had arrived at the entrance to the voodoo land of the south. He woke Lu Li up. He turned the wicked bead around, but this time, he was heading toward the demon-slaying city. What? Hiyu thought that Lu Li had gone the wrong way. She looked at him in surprise. The latter smiled and said, "In a day or two at most, I will master that skill. By then, I will be able to fight the semi-god realm warriors." With that said, Lu Li closed his eyes. Patriarch of Law Enforcement's eyes glowed. Lu Li was calm, and his eyes were glowing with confidence. Patriarch of Law Enforcement was excited. Lu Li was cultivating a skill? Once he mastered it, would his abilities reach the peak of the semi-god realm? It was pointless to speculate now. Patriarch of Law Enforcement had to wait in silence. Everything would be revealed in a day or two. What? Jun Hongye, Wu Guangda, and the others were surprised as well. Finally, Lu Li changed his direction. He was not going around in circles. Was he flying toward the demon-slaying city? Ha ha ha! Lu Li, are you getting impatient? Ha ha, Lu Li, there is no use for you to be impatient now. By the time you get back, your city will have been blasted into smithereens and all your subordinates will have been killed. Lu Li, come out and surrender now. We can send a message to them to stop. We only want the wicked bead. If you give us the wicked bead, we will not hurt any of your subordinates or people. What do you say? That is right. Lu Li, I am Yen Gu of the Divine Imperial Universe. I can promise you that as long as you give us the wicked bead, not only will I guarantee the safety of the humans of the Heaven Reverse Universe, but I will also protect you from death. The semi-god realm warriors came to their senses soon. As far as they could tell, Lu Li must have received the news that the demon-slaying city was under attack. Qi Donghai and the others should have arrived by now. Lu Li turned around in a hurry because he was afraid that the city would be breached and his subordinates and people would be slaughtered. The answer was silence. Lu Li did not say anything. The powerful warriors felt humiliated. Their expressions changed. Chapter 1041. Thousands of miles to the north of the demon-slaying city, Kumang was hiding in a valley. It would be a lie to say that he was not scared. He was only at the noble lord realm. Without the formation of destruction and illusion, any human sovereign realm warrior could kill him, let alone semi-god realm warriors. He was the clan leader of the Heavenly Illusion Tribe. If he died, the Heavenly Illusion Tribe would not have a leader. The remaining elders were not good at formations and restriction technique. If he died, the Heavenly Illusion Tribe would be weakened. Without Lu Li's protection, the entire race could be wiped out. Hiyu had sent him a message. Dozens of semi-god realm warriors had gone to the demon-slaying city. Though they did not fly past him, Lu Li had a feeling that the battle at the demon-slaying city had begun. The defense of the demon-slaying city was not strong. It might not be able to hold out for more than a few days. But Kumang dared not to make any reckless moves. Lu Li had given him an order to stay here and cooperate with him. Time moved on. One day later, Kumang received another message from Hiyu. Lu Li would arrive in the valley in half a day. Behind them were more than 50 semi-god realm cultivators, 10 of whom were at the peak of the semi-god realm. A great battle was about to break out. Kumang swallowed a mouthful of saliva and walked around, carefully inspecting the various restrictions and formations to ensure that there were no mistakes. The fight in half a day's time would be crucial. Not only was his life on the line, but also Lu Li's and the survival of the entire Heaven Reverse universe. After carefully inspecting it a few times, Kumang retreated into a cave in the valley. He had set up powerful defensive restrictions in the cave, which could withstand at least a few attacks from a soul formation cultivator. There was a teleportation formation inside that led directly to the demon-slaying city. That was the escape route he had planned. Time ticked by, and Kumang's heart beat faster and faster. He imagined the earth-shattering battle that was about to take place. He was nervous, afraid, and a little excited. Such a battle was unprecedented in the Heaven Reverse universe. It was enough to be recorded in history. Kumang was fortunate enough to be a part of it and fight side by side with Lu Li. He would feel honored even if he were to die. He's here, he's here. An hour later, Kumang heard a piercing sound coming from the north. It was obviously the sound of someone flying at high speed. Squeak, squeak. Next to him, one of He-Yu's subsidiary bodies flew up and glided in the air, as if they were writing something silently. He-Yu had sent a warning. Kumang held a few talisman stones in his hand. He was no longer nervous or afraid. There was no point in being nervous. Whether they lived or died depended on the heavens. Whoosh from the north, a bead whooshed across the sky toward the mountain range. Behind it was a group of semi-god realm warriors. They kept attacking the wicked bead. 2 hours ago, Lu Li opened his eyes. He had mastered the last skill and reached the second level of the method of stone golems. Everything was fine now. All that was left was to wait for the upcoming fight. Ahead of them was the valley where Kumang was. Lu Li was nervous. Over the past hour, he had been secretly changing the direction of the wicked bead to bring the semi-god realm warriors here on purpose. Also, the wicked bead was flying at a lower altitude for the purpose of luring the semi-god realm warriors into the valley. Closer, closer. Lu Li had sensed the white haze in front of him with psychic power. He flew the wicked bead into the white haze. The semi-god realm warriors went after him without hesitation. They had already checked the white haze with psychic power. It was just an average mountain range, so they were not worried. Wait, Yengu, who was about to enter the white haze, suddenly shouted, "Be careful. There is a strong inhibition formation in the valley. I can sense it." Yengu stopped in midair. The dozen semi-god realm warriors stopped as well. However, Jun Hongye, Wu Guangda, and Chen Tianxian had been swallowed up by the white haze. Lu Li shouted, "Kumang, kill them!" Boom, 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 the white haze tumbled. Dragons of thunder dashed out from the white haze toward the more than 30 semi-god realm warriors. Dragons of fire dashed up as well. Pink smoke spread out from the white haze. Clearly, the smoke was poisonous. Dragon of water, dragon of earth, dragon of wood, dragon of gold, come out. Kumang's voice was filled with murderous intent. The mountains burst open. Streams of water rose up into the sky and formed dragons of water. The mud and stones below condensed and turned into earth dragons that soared into the sky. In another direction, dragons made of vines and even dragons made of gold and iron flew up. In addition to the fire dragons and lightning dragons that had appeared earlier, the mountain range was filled with all kinds of dragons. It was a very beautiful sight. "Saint Lord, come down!" Kumang shouted. He crushed a formation stone in his hand and shouted, "Dragons of metal, wood, water, fire, earth, gather. Dragons of thunder, disperse." After Kumang's roar, the gold, wood, water, fire, and earth dragons from all directions gathered in midair. The thunder dragon in the sky suddenly collapsed into arcs of electricity that swept towards the gold, wood, water, fire, earth, and earth dragons. Metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, the 5 elements reinforce and counteract each other. Thunderbolts destroy and regenerate. I didn't know that this small Heaven Reverse universe has such a talent. He knows how to set up formations. Yengu used psychic power to check from the outside. When he saw what was going on inside, he pulled a long face. He said bitterly, apart from Wu Guangde, Chen Tianxian, and Jun Hongye, the others are doomed. Let's work together and blast the mountain apart layer by layer. Crack his formation. Boom, 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 family patriarch, save me! Soon, there came many miserable cries. The dragons of metal, water, fire, earth, and wood came together to form a dragon of 5 colors. They dashed toward the semi-god realm warriors. 5 completely different types of energy could perfectly fuse together, producing an extremely terrifying power. Metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, the 5 elements reinforced and counteracted each other. With the help of thunderbolts, the 5 elements were combined perfectly. When the 5 types of energy were combined, it created a horrifying force. Some semi-god realm warriors would explode as soon as they were hit. Those at the middle stage of the semi-god realm, with weak defense, would be badly mutilated. They were surrounded by a pink, toxic fog. Usually they would not be afraid. However, when they were wounded, the toxic fog was the last straw that broke the camel's back. Kumang learned many things from the altars. Those altars were passed down by God of Sorcerer and God of Barbarian. Otherwise, how could the Voodoo race and the Barbarian race build altars that could communicate with immortals? Anything in the divinity, even the simplest and lowest level, could be marvelous in the mortal world. Kumang learned some superficial knowledge, which increased the strength of the formation of destruction. The result was remarkable. Ha ha ha, well done! Lu Li flew into the valley in the wicked bead. He used psychic power to check. In an instant, at least 7 or 8 semi-god realm warriors were killed and another dozen were wounded and poisoned. Lu Li was overjoyed. Stone golems. Lu Li dashed out from the wicked bead and began to build stone golems. At the same time, Patriarch of Law Enforcement, Master of Heichi, and Master of Fairy Fox were teleported out. Chapter 1042. Master of Heichi had a strange skill. He could breathe out cyan airstream. Within the range of the cyan airstream, time would pass very slowly. Average warriors would not be able to come out once they were trapped in the airstream. Lu Li had brought Master of Heichi back because of this skill. If the dozens of semi-god realm warriors were trapped in the airstream and Kumang kept attacking, even those at the peak of the semi-god realm would die. Master of Fairy Fox and Master of Heichi were Lu Li's spiritual beasts. Without any hesitation, Master of Heichi transformed into his original form and flew up. Master of Fairy Fox stood on his back and released the enchantment. Kumang cooperated well. The 5-colored dragons did not attack Master of Heichi and Master of Fairy Fox. Master of Heichi breathed out a stream of cyan airstream that enveloped the 2 semi-god realm warriors. Piss off! However, before Master of Heichi could breathe out another stream of cyan airstream, a blood-red stream came at him. Chen Tianxian had made a move. He dodged the attack of the 5-colored dragons and dashed toward Master of Heichi. Bang! Master of Heichi's realm was too low. Besides, his original form was too large. It was too late for him to dodge. He was smashed away. Master of Fairy Fox's enchantment did not work on Chen Tianxian. Lu Li, go to hell! Chen Tianxian dashed over. He was fast. On the other side, Wu Guangde, Jun Hongye, and some other powerful warriors were trying their best to dodge the 5-colored dragons and were swarming over. The formation of destruction was impressive, but it was not a formation from the divinity. That being said, the 5-colored dragons were not as fast as those at the peak of the semi-god realm. Those at the peak of the semi-god realm could dodge easily. **T. Seeing that Master of Heichi was smashed away, Lu Li was enraged. But he did not panic. Both of his hands were already glowing with earthy yellow light, and a huge stone man was formed. He shot out streams of light at lightning speed, and the stone men shrank rapidly. Moreover, they shrank twice in a row. He shouted, "Kill!" A stone golem dashed on. It was faster than Patriarch of Law Enforcement. When Chen Tianxian smashed away Master of Heiqi, the stone golem was already on his way. Gather! Lu Li continued to build more stone golems. Cleverly, Kumang controlled the colorful dragon to stop Chen Tianxian and the others to buy Lu Li some time. Patriarch of Law Enforcement released his mystic armor and took out a black iron rod. He stood in front of Lu Li. To kill Lu Li, Patriarch of Law Enforcement must step over his dead body. Boom! The stone golem dashed forward but was knocked back by Chen Tianxian's attack. However, the stone man's defense was quite good. Chen Tianxian's attack did not break the stone man's body. The stone man continued to charge forward. Whoosh! Master of Heiqi and Master of Fairy Fox flew back. Once again, Master of Heiqi spat out some cyan airflow in front of Chen Tianxian. Lu Li made the second stone golem and joined the fight. Master of Heiqi and the others were overjoyed to see that Lu Li could make more stone golems. They tried their best to stop Chen Tianxian and the others. While the formation of destruction was running, there would be casualties or deaths at every second. As long as Chen Tianxian, Wu Guangde, and Jun Hongye could buy some time, more semi-god realm warriors would be killed. Lu Li's stone golems were strong. Their speed and defense were stronger than average semi-god realm warriors. If Lu Li could make a large number of stone golems, he might be able to win. Whoosh! Patriarch of Law Enforcement dashed out as well. The key was to buy time for Lu Li. Patriarch of Law Enforcement was ready to risk his life. Soon, Lu Li made the third stone golem. It was getting easier and faster for him. Kumang was doing his best as well. He controlled the colorful dragons to stop Chen Tianxian, Wu Guangde, and the others. He didn't even kill the weaker semi-god realm warriors. If he could stop the warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm, he might be able to turn the tables. Boom, boom, boom. However, from outside the white haze came some noises. Mountains were falling and the ground was cracking. Even the land around Lu Li was shaking. Kumang was taken aback. Those outside were smart. They were destroying the mountain bit by bit. In this way they could destroy the foundation of the formation. By then, the formation of illusion and destruction would be rendered useless. Lord, should we ask the two of them to take action? He stood next to Lu Li nervously. Her face was ghastly pale. The semi-god realm warriors were like wild beasts. Once they reached, she would be crushed into pieces. Lu Li had not alerted God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer. He was losing her patience. What else could he do but ask the two immortals to take action? Shut up. I know what to do, Lu Li shouted. He paid no more attention to He and continued to make stone golems. God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer were his last resort. He would not use them. God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer had to wait for the right time. Chen Tianxian, Wu Guangde, and Jun Hongye were not here yet. There were still over a dozen semi-god realm warriors outside. If he asked God of Sorcerer and God of Barbarian to take action earlier, those warriors would be scared away, which could lead to endless troubles. Lu Li would no longer have the chance to kill them. Boom! Patriarch of Law Enforcement was hit by a ray of Xian energy. His mystic armor cracked. Blood oozed out from his body. He was smashed into the valley and rolled around for a dozen times. Great-grandpa, don't go! Lu Li shouted. He had already made 8 or 9 stone golems. One more Patriarch of Law Enforcement would not do him much good. If Patriarch of Law Enforcement had learned the art of shield, he would be able to fight. But now, he was not strong enough. Patriarch of Law Enforcement shook his head with a bitter smile. He stood up and walked to Lu Li. Without hesitation, Lu Li put Patriarch of Law Enforcement into the wicked bead. Boom! Master of Heiqi and Master of Fairy Fox were smashed away soon. One of the stone golems Luli made was crushed. Warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm were not to be trifled with. Master of Heichi, Master of Fairy Fox, don't go. Luli made another stone golem. This time, he did not send it out. Instead, he put it in front of them. Yengu and the others kept attacking the mountain. The formation of destruction was on the verge of being destroyed. It would be pointless for Yengu and the others to go out now. They would be killed. However, Luli was satisfied with the result of this round. Just now, the formation of destruction had killed 13 semi-god realm warriors. 6 more were injured and poisoned. Even if they could survive, they would not be able to fight for a while. 19 semi-god realm warriors. This was a good result. After all, it was just some formations of destruction. Luli did not count on the formations of destruction. Dragon Demon, come out! Luli let out the Dragon Demon and the stone golems in front of him. The formations of destruction were useless. Luli had to ask God of Sorcerer and God of Barbarian to help. He must wait for all the semi-god realm warriors to arrive, so that God of Sorcerer and God of Barbarian could finish them off. He only had one chance. If God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer could not kill most of the semi-god realm warriors, then he would be in big trouble. The avatars of God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer could not be too far away. The range of their attacks could only be a few miles. If they could not be killed in one go, then the semi-god realm warriors would retreat. By then, when they went to the demon-slaying city and the great land to slaughter, what should Luli do? This is the last chance. Chapter 1043. Boom, boom, boom. As the mountains exploded, the formation of destruction was completely destroyed. Chen Tianxian and the others did not rush into the valley first. There was a formation of illusion in the valley which was not broken yet. Chen Tianxian, Wu Guangda, and the others could not take the risk. They decided to wait for Yengu and the others to catch up. Whoosh, the formation of destruction was destroyed. Yengu and the others came as well. They surrounded the valley and tried their best to check with psychic power. That being said, the formation of illusion was impressive. Not even warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm could use psychic power to check in easily. They could only sense the fluctuation of inhibition formations. Boom! Wu Guangda ordered with a straight face. 13 semi-god realm warriors had died, 6 were badly injured, and 3 could not be saved. They did not even kill a single warrior on Luli's side, which made Wu Guangda furious. As a matter of fact, Chen Tianxian and the others had the chance to kill Master of Heichi, Patriarch of Law Enforcement, and Master of Fairy Fox. However, they did not dare to use their most powerful moves before the situation was clear. Besides, they had to take care of the other semi-god realm warriors, or else they would have lost more than 13 semi-god realm warriors. They bombarded the valley. Not only could the formation of illusion isolate, it could also serve as a defense. Stop those rays of light. Luli had 18 stone golems with him. Seeing the rays of light coming in, Luli told the stone golems to stop them. At the same time, Dragon Demon whooshed over to stop the rays of light from hitting Luli and the altar. Those rays of light could not kill Luli, but it would be troublesome if the altar was destroyed. Luli was extremely nervous. The formation of illusion could be broken at any time. Next would be the most critical moment. Whoosh whoosh, Luli poured out a ray of Xian energy at 2 statues. The 2 statues glowed. God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer were ready. They could send avatars to help at any time. You, go into the wicked bead. Luli shouted. He threw Kumang a glance and said, Kumang, go back to the demon-slaying city. Help me there. Yu disappeared into the wicked bead. Master of Fairy Fox and Master of Heichi were put into the wicked bead. Kumang went into the cave and teleported away. Luli, Dragon Demon, and the stone golems were the only ones left. Boom! Finally, the formation of illusion was broken. Chen Tianxian, Wu Guangde, and Jun Hongye could see what was going on in the valley. Many powerful psychic powers scanned, but many were taken aback. Right at that moment, the two statues glowed. Two rays of light soared into the sky. Lu Li went into the wicked bead at once. God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer were out. Lu Li could not stay outside. What if one or two assassinated him? Catch them! When Lu Li entered the wicked bead, he waved his hand and the 18 stone golems whooshed over. At the same time, a huge shadow came out from the statue of the god of Barbarian. A surge of destructive energy pressed down. Chi, the sorcerer god, was more direct. Black mist gushed out of his statue and quickly spread in all directions. This black mist was filled with poisonous insects and sorcery poisons. If they were poisoned, this group of people would most likely die. After all, it was a godly poison. Retreat! Chen Tianxian yelled. They were knowledgeable. In the history of the Mage Imperial Universe, there were 3 powerful warriors that had ascended to the divinity. Break! Chen Tianxian took out a black spear and stabbed forward. Space trembled. The spear vanished into the void, and the next second, it reappeared in front of the huge fist formed by the god of Barbarian. Boom! The fist and the spear bumped into each other. The spear broke into pieces. The huge fist was still moving forward, but it was slower. Stop it! Wu Guangde took out a golden shield which grew to 1,000 feet in size and pressed toward the black mist. The space in front of Wu Guangde was isolated so that the black mist could not reach him. Step back! Yen Gu was smart. He did not try to stop the attacks from the 2 avatars. He vanished on the spot and reappeared 2 miles away in the next second. Then, he retreated for another 2 miles. Boom, 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 more than a dozen stone golems dashed over and fought against the 18 semi-god realm warriors. The 18 stone golems did not attack. Instead, they followed Lu Li's order. They reached out their iron hands toward the 18 semi-god realm warriors. Some of the semi-god realm warriors were intimidated by the might of the immortal. They were slow to react and were grabbed by the stone golems. They tried to hack at the stone golems with their weapons, but the stone golems would hold on to them. God of Sorcerer's black mist spread out quickly. 8 semi-god realm warriors were grabbed by the stone golems. They were enveloped by the black mist and cried out miserably. Behind the black mist was not only horrifying toxins but also strange bugs. Those semi-god realm warriors were not powerful enough to begin with. How could they survive such horrifying toxins and bugs? Hoot, hoot! The dragon demon dashed over with the stone golems. The dragon demon swept at the 2 semi-god realm warriors with its huge tail. The 2 semi-god realm warriors were entangled and dragged into the dark fog. Whoosh! Chen Tianxian, Jun Hongye, Wu Guangde, and Li family patriarch were powerful. They retreated quickly. In a blink, they had retreated for 3 miles. Whoosh! Lu Li's wicked bead had flown out when God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer attacked. He kept releasing feather wind to disturb the retreating semi-god realm warriors. What disappointed him was, God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer only managed to subdue a dozen semi-god realm warriors. Most of them were about to run away. His feather wind would not be of much help unless he went out to build a feather wind castle. However, he did not have the courage to go out when the outside was filled with toxins. God of Barbarian, God of Sorcerer, is this all you are capable? I asked you to kill for me. If they run away, you can forget about your energy of faith. Lu Li shouted in rage. Clearly, God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer did not exert their full strength. Otherwise, Jun Hongye and Chen Tianxian would not have run away so easily. Claw of God. Maybe because of Lu Li's threat, God of Barbarian bellowed. From the distance, a huge yellowish hand came out from the void and reached toward Li family patriarch. Li family patriarch was fast, but that hand was faster. Soon, he was caught by the huge hand. But when the large hand flew back and threw the Li clan patriarch into the black mist, the Li clan patriarch actually disappeared in midair, and in the next second, he appeared 5 kilometers away. Space-piercing profound meaning? God of Barbarians' angry voice came. Li family patriarch dashed away and reappeared 3 miles away. God of Barbarian wanted to go after him, but it was too late. Swish, swish, the hand was torn apart. The next second, another hand came out and reached for a warrior at the middle stage of the semi-god realm. This time, the warrior was caught and thrown into the black mist. Whoosh, whoosh! The black mist tumbled about. Many black dragons dashed to all sides, chasing after the semi-god realm warriors that were running away. God of Sorcerer did not want to provoke Lu Li too much. After all, he had promised to help Lu Li kill his enemies. If Lu Li was in a fit of rage and God of Sorcerer did not violate the agreement and ask his warriors to kill civilians of the voodoo race, God of Sorcerer could not do anything. Such a pity. Even though the 2 immortals tried their best, they only managed to kill 8 or 9 more semi-god realm warriors. Jun Hongye, Chen Tianxian, and Wu Guangda had run away. sh*t, sh*t, sh*t. Chapter 1044. Of the more than 50 semi-god realm cultivators, the killing formation killed 13 and severely injured 6. The remaining 6 semi-god realm cultivators who were severely injured were poisoned to death. Then, God of Sorcerer and God of Barbarian killed about 20 semi-god realm warriors. In total, they had killed about 40 semi-god realm warriors. More than a dozen escaped. If the 40 semi-god realm warriors included the 10 at the peak of the semi-god realm, Lu Li would be satisfied. However, none of the 10 at the peak of the semi-god realm died. Lu Li was not satisfied with this result. Jun Hongye and the others were too strong. Any one of them escaping would be a disaster for the Heaven Reverse universe. Since God of Sorcerer and God of Barbarian could not be killed, there was nothing Lu Li could do. Whoosh, the dozen semi-god realm warriors that escaped dashed away in a blur. In the time for a few breaths, they had gone for hundreds of miles. They stopped at a distance of hundreds of miles. They seemed to have some understanding of immortals. They knew that the avatars of immortals could not reach so far. There are 2 avatars of immortals? Wu Guangda's eyes were filled with anger. Chen Tianxian and Jun Hongye were not happy as well. 40 semi-god realm warriors were killed. Every family had lost someone. They were enraged. They had thought that the Heaven Reverse universe would be safe. Little did they expect that they would suffer such a great loss. God of Barbarian, God of Sorcerer? Good. You did well. Yengu was furious. 2 semi-god realm warriors of the Yen family were killed. Yengu snorted and said, "How dare you kill people of the Yen family? When we get back, I will crush your bodies and destroy your souls." Yengu, what do we do now? Li family patriarch looked at Yengu emotionlessly. This time, only 2 came from the Li family. The other semi-god realm warrior was at the demon-slaying city. Therefore, Li family patriarch was not angry. He was just troubled. After all, with 2 immortals helping Lu Li, it would be difficult for him to get the wicked bead. Yengu snorted. The 2 immortals are clearly average celestial realm warriors. How strong can they be? Later, we will think of a way to destroy the 2 altars. They will not be able to create avatars. Where can Lu Li go? That is right. Wu Guangda nodded. The 2 immortals have used their strongest means. Still, they cannot defeat us. Therefore, as long as we cooperate well, we can destroy their altars easily. That's good. I'll go check out the surrounding terrain first and make a good plan later. Li family leader had the spatial piercing divine art, and it was a top-notch method for escaping. His body flashed and disappeared on the spot. He started to wander around nearby to check out the situation. God of Barbarians, God of Sorcerer, you violated the agreement. You didn't contribute, you two, in the valley. Luli flew into a rage. He almost called the two losers. It was such a good opportunity. All the semi-god realm cultivators were in the valley. It was the best time to strike, but the two of them didn't even manage to kill a cultivator at the peak of the semi-god realm? Humph! The god of barbarian replied angrily, Luli, you must be clear. You told me that you were only going to kill some semi-god realm warriors. You never mentioned that there were warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm. That's right. The god of sorcerer said, when you told me, there were only a few semi-god realm cultivators. How many semi-god realm cultivators are here? There are dozens of soul formation cultivators here, and they are at the peak of the soul formation realm. How can they be killed so easily? Luli's tone grew colder as he shouted, the enemies are here. Don't you know that you have to kill the most powerful ones? You only know how to kill some small fries. If you had used your best at the beginning, you might have been able to kill the 10 warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm. You are overthinking, the god of sorcerer snorted. Do you really think that gods are omnipotent? If we could kill a warrior at the peak of the semi-god realm with an avatar, your dragon demon would have been killed and the wicked bead would have been crushed. Not to mention us. Not even a mighty warrior in the divinity could kill a warrior at the peak of the semi-god realm with an avatar, unless there was a super mighty warrior in the divinity. The god of barbarian added, Luli, that was the best we could do. Warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm. Don't even think about it. It is difficult to kill them with our avatars. Very difficult. Luli pulled a long face. If he could not kill the 10 warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm, the heaven reverse universe would face an inevitable catastrophe. He might be able to escape to the inferno with Patriarch of Law Enforcement and the others, but the civilians of the heaven reverse universe would have to face the wrath of a group of semi-god realm warriors. Who could say how many would die? Is there really no other way? Luli asked again. They are still hovering nearby. I think they will attack again soon. Can't you two kill a few warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm when you work together? The god of sorcerer sneered. Why are they hovering nearby? Why do they have the courage to attack again? They know that we cannot use too much strength. They must know immortals well, better than you do. The god of barbarians said after a moment of silence, Luli, the stone golems you just used are not bad. Do more. If our altars are destroyed, our avatars will not be able to survive. Stone golems? Luli had high hopes for the stone golems. Now, he realized that the stone golems were too weak. They were about the same level as Patriarch of Law Enforcement. Even if Luli could make 100 stone golems, they would not be a match for a warrior at the peak of the semi-god realm. That being said, based on he used subsidiary bodies nearby, Luli could tell that Wu Guangda and the others would come back soon. By then, it would be even more troublesome if the altars of God of Sorcerer and God of Barbarian were destroyed. Luli thought about it and said, God of Sorcerer, take back your toxic haze. I will go out and make stone golems. The statue of God of Sorcerer glowed as the toxic haze disappeared. The god of sorcerer sighed, Luli, you are talented. You have reached the 2nd level of the stone golems in such a short time. If you can reach the 3rd level and make stone golems that are as powerful as immortals, it will be easy for you to conquer the mortal world. But you do not have divine energy. Even if you can, you will not be able to control the stone golems. The god of sorcerer had said too much nonsense. Luli did not want to talk to him. He flew the wicked bead to a corner of the valley. At the same time, he had the dragon demon and the stone golems to surround him. God of sorcerer and God of barbarian seemed to be on his side. But who could tell if they were going to set him up? What if God of sorcerer and God of barbarian wanted to kill him and then take the wicked bead? There was some distance between Luli and the two statues. He was surrounded by the dragon demon and the stone golems. The wicked bead was floating above his head. Even if God of Sorcerer and God of Barbarian were to sneak up on him, he could survive for a moment. Luli began to make stone golems quickly. God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer behaved themselves and did nothing. As the number of stone golems increased, Luli felt relieved. He was surrounded by the stone golems. Unless God of Sorcerer launched a sneak attack with some invisible toxins, Luli would not be afraid of regular toxins. Besides, his physical body had been improved in the Paleobeast realm. Chapter 1045. The formations of illusion and destruction were all destroyed. Therefore, it was easy to explore the terrain. There was only one valley with few formations around. As long as they could cooperate well, they could blast the land from afar and crack the altars. In that case, the two immortals would not be able to help Luli. Immortals were strong. In the divinity, God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer could crush those semi-god realm warriors with one finger. However, this was the mortal world. Immortals could only use some special altars to generate avatars. The powers they could use were limited. The altars and statues were the medium for the immortals to connect with the mortal world. If the altars and statues were destroyed, not even Emperor of Heaven Reverse could save them, let alone God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer. Luli, God of Sorcerer suddenly said. He gave Luli a suggestion. You can put away all the stone golems and fly the wicked bead over. You can send out the stone golems at once and kill a semi-god realm warrior. You must stop them from blasting at the mountains nearby. Otherwise, if our altars are cracked, we will not be able to help you. God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer were under Luli's control. They were afraid that Luli would kill all the civilians of the barbarian race and the voodoo race. By then, the energy of faith would be gone. It was not easy to gain the energy of faith of a race. God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer had spent a great deal of effort. Naturally, they did not want to give it up. Okay. Luli put away the dragon demon and dashed into the wicked bead. God of Sorcerer covered up the valley with poisonous fog. Luli put away the stone golems into the outer hall of the wicked bead. At first, the stone golems were tall. But later, they shrank to a height of 10 feet. The outer hall was not large. The 100 stone golems almost filled it up. Boom, 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 from all sides came some noises. The more than a dozen semi-god realm warriors began to attack from the distance. They were not aiming at Luli's side, but at the ground. Their intention was clear. They wanted to blast open the ground nearby, which would cause the entire valley to collapse. Naturally, the altars would not be able to protect the valley when the valley collapsed. The semi-god realm warriors that could escape from God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer were at least at the middle stage of the semi-god realm. They were old warriors with strong abilities. They didn't release powerful divine arts and just released streams of light from afar. The ground instantly exploded, creating huge craters. Mountain peaks were razed to the ground, and huge cracks appeared on the ground. The power was terrifying. At this moment, they were standing 100 miles away. Even if the God of Barbarians and the God of Sorcerer attacked, those people would have easily dodged their attack. They were not a threat at all. Very quickly, the nearby mountains were flattened. Smoke and dust filled the air, covering the sky and covering the earth. Explosions rang out incessantly, echoing within a 500-kilometer radius. Whoosh! Before God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer could say more, Luli had already made his move. He flew the wicked bead to a random direction. There were people in all 4 directions, and the 10-peak soul formation cultivators were separated. This way, even if God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer attacked in any direction, they could release powerful attacks to disperse God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer's attack. Junhongya was where Luli came from. One of Jun Hongye's grandsons died in the hands of Lu Li. Because of Lu Li, many powerful warriors of the Jun family lost their lives. Seeing Lu Li coming, Jun Hongye sneered, "What? Lu Li was getting impatient? Don't worry, you'll understand after a while that the nightmare has just begun." "Is that so?" Lu Li snorted. He smashed the wicked bead toward Jun Hongye at a high speed. Jun Hongye dodged to the side calmly. He didn't want to waste time on Lu Li and continued to attack the mountains in the distance. Family Patriarch. A Jun family semi-god realm warrior shouted, "How about? I go to the Great Land first? Kill all of Lu Li's families and friends?" Lu Li was chasing after Jun Hongye in the wicked bead. Hearing this, Lu Li was enraged. The wicked bead turned around and smashed at the semi-god realm warrior. Seeing the wicked bead coming, the warrior didn't dodge. He took out a huge saber and hacked at the wicked bead. Boom! With a muffled sound, the wicked bead glowed. Without any pause, the wicked bead smashed at the warrior and knocked him away. "Stone golems, go and kill him!" Lu Li shouted. The wicked bead glowed as more than a dozen stone golems came out and surrounded the Jun family semi-god realm warrior. Whoosh! Lu Li dashed out. The dragon demon roared in midair and smashed at the Jun family semi-god realm warrior's head with its huge claw. "Lu Li, how dare you?" Jun Hongye bellowed in rage. He dashed over and took out a red bow. He shot at the wicked bead. Buzzing, by the time he took out his bow, Lu Li had already dashed into the wicked bead. The arrow had to fly toward the dragon demon. Clearly, the arrow contained a horrifying, profound meaning. It was as fast as lightning. In the time for one breath, it had reached the back of the dragon demon. The arrow was burning with white flames. As soon as it hit the dragon demon, the arrow disappeared as if it had penetrated into the dragon demon's body. Hoot, hoot! The dragon demon bellowed in rage. The claw did not stop and continued to smash at the Jun family semi-god realm warrior. The Jun family semi-god realm warrior and a stone golem were smashed away. Poof! At this critical moment, the Jun family semi-god realm warrior put on a quasi-relic armor and a helmet on his head. That being said, the dragon demon smashed the semi-god realm warrior's head. His face was covered in blood. Though he survived, his head was concussed and he was seriously injured. Whoosh! More than a dozen stone golems dashed over and punched at the Jun family semi-god realm warrior. Jun Hongye was losing his patience. Those stone golems did not seem to be that powerful. However, there were more of them. What was more, the semi-god realm warrior of his family was badly injured. If Jun Hongye did not come to his rescue, he would be killed. Swish, swish, Jun Hongye shot out more arrows at once, trying to shatter all the stone golems. What made Jun Hongye so angry was that Lu Li flew the wicked bead over and fended off the arrows. Then, more stone golems came out and surrounded Jun Hongye. "Piss off!" Jun Hongye put away his bow and took out a saber to smash away the stone golems. He bellowed in rage. He did not show any mercy. The void was cracked by his saber and the stone golems were smashed into pieces. "Family Patriarch!" A miserable cry was heard. Jun Hongye glared over, only to see that the semi-god realm warrior's head was smashed. That was the last cry of his family patriarch. Lu Li, I will kill you. I will kill you. I will kill your entire family." Even someone as shrewd as Jun Hongye could not stand it anymore. He yelled in rage. The Jun family did not have many powerful warriors. This time, another semi-god realm warrior, a cousin of his, had died. Jun Hongye almost lost his mind. "You must be able to kill my entire family." Chapter 1046. The cooperation between the stone golems and the dragon demon was not bad. It was not easy to kill warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm, but it was possible to kill warriors at the middle stage of the semi-god realm. One of them had been killed by Lu Li. Dragon Demon to the north. Was the Dragon Demon injured? Luli told the Dragon Demon to go to the north through their spiritual connection. When they were a distance away from Jun Hongye, Luli put away the Dragon Demon and went back into the wicked bead. Whoosh, the wicked bead came back and put away the undestroyed stone golems. Compared to Jun Hongye, the stone golems were much weaker. Jun Hongye had killed 7 or 8 stone golems with each slash. Staying here would be pointless. Luli put away all the stone golems and flew to another direction. Jun Hongye wanted to go after them. But on second thought, he put away the semi-god realm corpses and continued to attack the ground. It was pointless for him to chase after the wicked bead. He must destroy the altars of God of Sorcerer and God of Barbarian. How could the wicked bead run away? After the altars were destroyed, Luli would not have any help. Luli flew away in the wicked bead. Soon, he found another target, a semi-god realm warrior next to Yen Gu at the north. This warrior was not strong. His attacks were weak, but he was fast. He also had a quasi-relic armor. Whoosh, Luli flew over. There were 3 warriors with Yen Gu. Luli chose to smash at Yen Gu with the wicked bead. This warrior was at the peak of the semi-god realm. He should be the leader of the Yen family. Yen Gu was not in a hurry. He made a move. That move was like flowing water. The wicked bead smashed at him. Then, the wicked bead changed its course and flew to another direction. This divine ability is quite interesting. Luli played along and smashed at another semi-god realm warrior, knocking him away. At the same time, Luli shouted, "Master of Heichi!" Master of Heichi dashed out. He changed back to his original form and breathed out cyan airstream. But that semi-god realm warrior was not to be trifled with. He stabbed at Master of Heichi with his spear. Master of Heichi was badly wounded at once. "Back to human form!" Luli shouted. While running away, Master of Heichi changed back to his human form. Luli put him in the wicked bead. On the other side, the semi-god realm cultivator was enveloped by the cyan airflow and flew out desperately. Heichi! Yen Gu's expression turned grave. He flew over quickly, wanting to help his people out of trouble. Luli would not let him come. The wicked bead flew over and released over a dozen stone golems to attack Yen Gu. "Yen say, go help Yen Yen!" Yen Gu yelled. He took out a sword and began to attack the stone golems. He could tell that Luli wanted to kill Yen Yen. Whoosh, Luli came back with the wicked bead again, and sent out 7 or 8 stone golems to surround Yen Sei. Then, Luli flew to Yen Yen and released the Dragon Demon. Hoot, hoot, the Dragon Demon kept bellowing after it came out. Its eyes were filled with pain. It seemed that Jun Hongye's arrow had hurt the Dragon Demon badly and it was suffering. It howled a few times and charged towards Yen Yen. The Dragon Demon's body glowed in a red light. The red airflow dashed into the cyan airflow and smashed at Yen Yan's head. The Master of Heichi did not breathe out a large amount of cyan airflow. The airflow only covered an area with a radius of 100 feet, trapping Yen Yen inside. The Dragon Demon was over 1,000 feet tall. However, the speed of its paw slowed down in the cyan airflow. Go to hell! Yen Yen held a black halberd in his hand and hacked at the Dragon Demon's paw. His movements were slow, as if he had been slowed down by 100 times. The Dragon Demon's paw was slow as well. It was as if the man and the beast were playing house. The Dragon Demon's red airstream reached Yen Yen, but it did not do much to him. It merely slowed him down a bit. Luli had been observing. He sent out Master of Fairy Fox, who shot out a ray of pink light from her eyes and went into Yen Yan's body. Yen Yen was confused for a moment. Luli would not let go of such an opportunity. He sent out Master of Heichi again. Master of Heichi took a deep breath. The cyan airflow disappeared. The Dragon Demon's paw landed on Yen Yan's head. Bang! Yen Yen was smashed away. The Dragon Demon's strength was horrifying. Not even the quasi-relic armor could stand it. Like the semi-god realm warrior of the June family, Yan Yan's head was cracked. But he did not die. Dragon Demon, keep attacking! Lu Li sent a message to the Dragon Demon through spiritual link while he flew the wicked bead toward Yen Gu. In such a short time, Yen Gu had destroyed 5 or 6 stone golems. He had broken through the encirclement of the stone golems and was coming to help. Buzzing, Lu Li flew the wicked bead closer to Yen Gu. He sent out dozens of stone golems to surround Yen Gu again. Yen was about to be killed. How could Lu Li let Yen Gu go and save him? Lu Li, how dare you? Yen Gu roared furiously. The long sword in his hand turned into a sky full of sword shadows, knocking away the stone golems that were charging at him. Looking at the stone golems and the dragon demon that was dashing toward Yen Gu yelled, "The Yen family is the most powerful family in the 9 universes. Our progenitor warrior is a mighty warrior in the divinity. How dare you kill a member of the Yen family? You can run to the ends of the world, but you will still face death." Mighty warrior in the divinity? You scared me. When the dragon demon smashes you, it is the Yen family that it kills. Lu Li snorted. Emperor of Heaven Reverse was a mighty warrior in the divinity as well. But the semi-god realm warriors of the 9 universes came to the Heaven Reverse universe as well. God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer were immortals. In the mortal world, they could not even kill warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm. Immortals were scary, but in the mortal world, there was no need to be afraid. Immortals were not omnipotent. Boom! Yen was smashed to the ground by the dragon demon. A huge pit appeared on the ground. The quasi-relic armor fell off automatically. Clearly, Yen had been killed. Yen Gu bellowed in rage. The Yen family was the leader and the Yen family had the most semi-god realm warriors. However, 2 had died and now another one. This was unacceptable to Yen Gu. He did not know how to explain to the Yen family patriarch when he went back. When he came out this time, he was confident and high-spirited. He did not expect that things would end up like this. Yen Gu was even more furious. He had thought that the Heaven Reverse universe, a universe of the lowest level, could not have any powerful warriors. When the Yen family patriarch gathered the 100 semi-god realm warriors, Yen Gu thought it was too many. He believed that he could lead several semi-god realm warriors each. Now, it seemed to be a joke. Very good, Lu Li, very good. Yen Gu was so angry that he laughed. Staring at the wicked bead, he said while clenching his teeth, "I will not be a disciple of the Yen family if I cannot cut you into pieces." Not a disciple of the Yen family? Lu Li sneered back. How about you become a disciple of the Lu family? The Yen family is known as the most powerful family in the 9 universes. You have a great reputation. I don't think so. Dragon Demon, kill Yen Sei. Chapter 1047. Whoosh whoosh, Lu Li was about to tell the dragon demon to attack Yen Sei when he heard some noises from the distance. Clearly, there were reinforcements coming. Lu Li had to let the dragon demon fly away. Then, he put away the dragon demon and Master of Fairy Fox and Master of Heichi. It was Wu Guangda and 4 semi-god realm warriors. Wu Guangda shouted from the distance, "Gather up. Don't let Lu Li kill you one by one." Hearing Wu Guangda's voice, Jun Hongye and Chen Tianxian came over from the distance. The stone golems Lu Li sent out were all smashed by Yen Gu. Alas, Lu Li had no choice but to fly toward the valley. The valley was filled with toxic fog and the avatars of God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer. Those warriors did not have the courage to go after him. Lu Li was lucky that he could kill 2 semi-god realm warriors in one trip. If the semi-god realm warriors were not separated, he would not have the chance. His stone golems would be destroyed as soon as he sent them out. Dragon Demon would be killed. not to mention Master of Fairy Fox and Master of Heichi. Even though he had killed 2 semi-god realm warriors, Luli did not feel happy. Instead, he felt more troubled. The semi-god realm warriors were attacking from a distance. God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer could not do anything. By the time they launched their attacks, the semi-god realm warriors would have run away. Luli was unwilling to give up. God of Barbarian, God of Sorcerer, you are immortals. Do you really have no way to deal with a bunch of mortals? Luli, there is no other way. The sorcerer god sighed faintly and explained, it's not that we don't have powerful supernatural powers, but we can only condense a wisp of our divine sense. This divine sense is too fragile and can't withstand a strong impact. Even if we have powerful supernatural powers, we can't release them. Those semi-god realm warriors are strong and smart. I am afraid there is nothing we can do. The mountains outside were being destroyed one by one. There were pits everywhere. At this rate, the ground in the valley would crack and the altar would be cracked. The 2 immortals had amazing abilities. However, due to various restrictions, they could not use even 1% of their abilities. God of Barbarian sighed as well. Luli, we have done our best. If you think that we have violated the agreement, you can go ahead and slaughter the people of my barbarian race. In any case, if you dare to come to the divine world, this god will definitely kill you. Luli didn't argue with the god of Barbarian. He thought about it and begged, can you 2 release one last move together? Help me kill as many as you can. After this, I won't make things difficult for you anymore. I will also do my best to help you preserve the power of faith. Also, if I die, these lunatics may go to the voodoo land of the south and the barbarian land of the north to kill. By then, you will also lose the power of faith. The god of Barbarian and the god of Sorcerer were silent. Their divine thoughts were entangled together, as if they were discussing something. After a dozen breaths, the ground of the valley trembled more and more violently, as if it would collapse at any time. The god of Sorcerer said, all right, let's join forces and see if it works. Luli, if you can survive this, you must keep your promise. Yeah, if I lied to you, I'll die a horrible death. Luli swore. After a moment of silence, the sorcerer god said softly, try to lure them over. The closer, the better. Well, Luli was troubled. Those were all old warriors. They would not be fooled so easily. That being said, Luli was well aware that if he did not lure them over, not even the god of Barbarian and the god of Sorcerer could do much harm. Luli was deep in thought. Under normal circumstances, those old warriors would not come over. Someone must lure them over. Was it possible to sacrifice Master of Fairy Fox or Master of Heichi? But they were not important enough unless the dragon demon was sacrificed or Luli went out to lure them over. After much deliberation, Luli decided to take the risk. He went out in person. His defensive power was horrifying, definitely more powerful than that of Patriarch of Law Enforcement. The dragon armor was good enough, and he could put on a quasi-relic armor on the outside. Besides, his body had undergone a qualitative change. Ordinary low-level divinity transformation realm cultivators couldn't be killed even if they just stood there. What he was most afraid of were the 10 warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm. If he was killed in one move or trapped, then he would die a tragic death. Fortune came from danger. Luli told God of Sorcerer to shrink the toxic haze. He went into the cave and began to make stone golems. He stopped after he made 50. He flew the wicked bead out and arrived at the valley. He looked at the semi-god realm warriors in the distance and said, "Stop. I want to talk to you." Boom, boom, boom. Luli's words were not finished. The stone golems did not stop. Luli made up his mind and dashed out. There were 50 stone golems with him. These stone golems surrounded him under Luli's command. Luli shouted, "Do you want the wicked bead or not? If you do, stop." Many people used psychic power to check. They noticed that Luli was outside and the wicked bead had shrunk in his hand. Many people's eyes glowed. They were here for the wicked bead, weren't they? How dare Luli come out? He was too bold. Did he really think that the dozens of stone golems could protect him? Stop, Yengu said. The stone golems quieted down at once. Then, Yengu and the more than a dozen warriors flew for a couple of miles before they stopped. They were still 15 miles away from Luli. Luli's eyesight was good, but all he could see was some black dots. Luli, what do you want to talk about? Yengu tried to keep his tone calm. Luli had just killed Yen. Yengu was a shrewd man to be able to talk like this. Even though they were 15 miles apart, if they used Xian energy to amplify their voices, they could hear each other. Luli did not use Xian energy. He just shouted, "I can give you the wicked bead, but you must give me something in return. You must promise me that you will leave the Heaven Reverse Universe immediately and that you will not hurt anyone there." Luli was shouting, but the stone golems were 15 miles away. No matter how good Luli's hearing was, the stone golems could only hear him vaguely. After a while, Yengu shouted, "Can't you speak louder? Are you so afraid of death? I am already outside the wicked bead." Luli babbled for a long time. Still, he did not use Xian energy. Yengu could barely hear him. Yengu frowned. He flew forward slowly. Naturally, the others followed him. Many kept checking the surroundings with psychic power. Some even kept their eyes on God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer. They were extremely cautious. Yengu and the others stopped when they were 3 miles away from Luli. Luli was nervous. Those warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm could arrive in an instant. "Luli, you can talk now," Yengu shouted. "As long as you give us the wicked bead, we can talk about anything." God of Sorcerer's voice rang in Luli's ears. "We are still too far away. It would be best if we could be 3 miles closer." **T Luli rolled his eyes. Were God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer trying to take advantage of the chaos to kill him and then take the wicked bead? Chapter 1048. Luli said nothing for a while. He still thought it was worth the risk. God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer only had one chance to take action. If he could kill more warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm, he would be less stressed. If he could kill all 10 warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm, he was confident that he could kill all the invading semi-god realm warriors. Therefore, he said, "Yengu, I can give you the wicked bead, but you must give me something in return and promise that you will not hurt anyone of the Heaven Reverse Universe." This time, Yengu heard it clearly. He was delighted. Without hesitation, he nodded and said, "No problem. What do you want? Name your terms. We are only here for the wicked bead. We will leave as soon as we get the bead, and we will not hurt anyone." Terms? Luli frowned. He did not know how to name his terms. Treasures? What could be better than a relic? A bunch of quasi-relics? Mystical materials? He was not in need of quasi-relics or mystical materials. Even though he was just fooling Yengu, he had to be truthful. More importantly, how could he get them to come? Luli hesitated for a moment. He turned to Yengu and the others. Suddenly, he was taken aback. One of them seemed to be missing. Originally, there were 17 of them. Luli killed 2 of them, so there should be 15 left. But now, there were only 14 left. Where was the other one? Luli used psychic power to check. But his psychic power was not strong. He could not see if anyone was hiding around. Feather Wind. Luli took out his bead of life and released Feather Wind to cover an area with a radius of several miles. Feather Wind was a special kind of wind. Once there was any fluctuation in space, Luli could sense it. Back in the days, the Asmodean Lord's hiding skills were amazing. Luli could locate him easily. If the Asmodean Lord really sent someone here to assassinate him, it would not only be a crisis, but also an opportunity. Luli wanted to fool the Asmodean Lord over, and the Asmodean Lord was doing the same. Their real purpose was to assassinate him. As a matter of fact, neither side wanted to negotiate. If so, Luli would have a chance. Terms. Putting on a show, Luli said, "Name your terms. If I am satisfied, I will let you have the wicked bead. The relic is too strong. I cannot control it, and it is useless for me to keep it. It will only bring me troubles." As expected. Right at that moment, Luli noticed something strange in the space to his left. Even though it was only a slight movement, Luli sensed it through the feather wind. Sure enough, Yengu and the others did not want to negotiate with Luli. However, as soon as Luli came out from the wicked bead, Yengu sent someone to sneak over and try to kill Luli. The person who was lurking over was only 10 miles away from him. At such a distance, it was very dangerous. Luli was extremely nervous. He knew who the assassin was. It was the family patriarch of the Li family, a warrior at the peak of the semi-god realm. Since they wanted to kill him, this was a good chance. He shouted without hesitation, "Yengu Jun Hongye, since you want to negotiate, why are you so insincere? I have come out from the wicked bead. Is that enough? But you guys are so far away. Do you not want to talk? If not, I will go back to the wicked bead." The wicked bead in Luli's hand glowed, as if he could go in at any time. Yengu and the others were taken aback. They all knew that the family patriarch of the Li family had sneaked over and was ready to strike at any time. If Luli were to go into the wicked bead now, he would miss such a good chance. The wicked bead was strong. Nobody could tell how much energy was stored in it. After all, so many people had been trying for a long time. Back in the Central Imperial Universe, a group of people had been trying for a long time as well, but they never cracked the wicked bead. It was a godsend that Luli could come out. Yengu and the others looked at each other. Eventually, Yengu burst into laughter and said, "Ha ha ha, Luli, if you want to see our sincerity, then we will go closer. We are afraid that you will misunderstand us. If you want us to go closer, then so be it. Everything is negotiable." Yengu and the others knew that once they were too close, God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer might attack them. That being said, they had a clear understanding of God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer's abilities. Given their abilities, it was impossible for God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer to kill them. If they were too far away, it would be hard to hurt them. They were moving at a moderate pace. Yengu kept talking to Luli to distract him. Li family patriarch, on the other hand, was closing in on Luli secretly. He was ready to kill Luli at any time. 6 miles, 5 miles, 6 miles. Yengu and the others were moving closer. Luli's body was tense to the extreme. Li family patriarch was less than 1 mile away from him. It was dangerous to be so close to a warrior at the peak of the semi-god realm. Li family patriarch could use his move at any time. 6 miles. When Yengu and the others were 3 miles away from Luli, Li family patriarch was only 1 mile away. Luli could not take any more risk. The wicked bead glowed, and he vanished on the spot. Swish, almost at the same time, the space in front of Luli burst open. A spear tore apart the void and smashed the stone golems in front of Luli. In an instant, the spear had reached where Luli was standing. Fortunately, Luli had just vanished on the spot. He had entered the wicked bead. Bang bang bang! Luli used psychic power to check. He saw the stone golems exploding one by one. He was soaked in cold sweat. The stone golems were strong. If he had been 1 second slower, he would have turned into a mist of blood just like the stone golems. Taking a deep breath, Luli yelled, "Now?" Woo woo! At that moment, the profound energy of heaven and earth in all directions moved, gathering towards the valley in a frenzy. Next, a gigantic iron fist appeared in midair. At the same time, the black fog that filled the sky swept up to entangle the iron fist. Whoosh, the iron fist whooshed across the sky toward Yen Gu and the others at a horrifying speed. Everywhere the iron fist passed, the void would tremble. Scar-like cracks appeared in the sky, extending to the distance. It was a horrifying sight. This attack was faster than the previous ones. In the blink of an eye, the iron fist had reached Yen Gu. Yen Gu and the others were taken aback. The iron fist was powerful. That being said, they were not worried about the iron fist. What frightened them was the poisonous fog and insects entangled around the iron fist. God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer were working together. God of Barbarian was the main attacker and God of Sorcerer was the support. Once they were injured by God of Barbarian, the toxins would enter their bodies. By then, not even immortals would be able to save them. We have fallen into a trap. Retreat, Yen Gu yelled. Just like before, he did not put up any resistance. Regardless of the others, he dashed back for 3 miles at once. Wu Guangda cursed. He had to take out a shield to defend against the iron fist. Yen Gu understood the profound meanings of space. He was good at running away, but the others were not. Bang! Chapter 1049. Nice. Lu Li used psychic power to check. He shouted in joy. The cooperation between God of Sorcerer and God of Barbarian was perfect, especially when God of Barbarian controlled his fist to explode. Using the fist, 2 or 3 semi-god realm warriors could be wounded. However, the explosion could hurt many. The toxins were scattered everywhere. Once someone was wounded, the toxins would enter their bodies. If they could not be saved in time, they would die. The family patriarch of the Mage Imperial Universe died at the center of the explosion. He was at the peak of the semi-god realm. The others were smashed away. God of Barbarian had been preparing for this move for a long time. It was powerful. Yen Gu, help us or we will all die. Wu Guangda shouted. Chen Tianxian, Jun Hongye, and the others dashed toward Yen Gu in a frenzy. Wu Guangda was in the worst condition. His quasi-relic artifact was broken. He was covered in blood. His blood was dark purple. He was poisoned. Buzzing, a green bead appeared in Yen Gu's hand. The bead glowed. Surges of green energy were transmitted to Wu Guangda. He has a relic, God of Sorcerer said. Lu Li pulled a long face. It was not easy to build such a good situation. If Yen Gu could be saved, then he would be in deep trouble. Whoosh, without any hesitation, Lu Li put away the stone golems in the wicked bead, and then flew over. He enlarged the wicked bead and smashed at Yen Gu. Piss off! The semi-god realm warriors were covered in wounds. They were waiting for Yen Gu to cure them. Some semi-god realm warriors were swallowing healing pellet. If Lu Li could affect their healing process, many of them would die. Chen Tianxian took out his spear in rage and stabbed at the wicked bead. However, the wicked bead was strong. Chen Tianxian's attack could not knock it away. Buzzing, the wicked bead glowed. The dozens of stone golems were released, and they swarmed toward the semi-god realm warriors. The situation became chaotic. After all, the stone golems could hurt them, but they were injured. Boom, 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 the warriors destroyed the stone golems in a hurry. However, as soon as they did that, the toxins in their bodies could no longer be contained. The toxins spread out. A peak soul formation cultivator suddenly let out a miserable cry. His face turned purple and his body directly fell down, smashing a small mountain and creating a large hole. This person's entire body had turned purplish black. The poison had clearly spread throughout his body and could not be suppressed. There was no way to save him. Go! Yen Gu had already detoxified Wu Guangda's poison. He took the lead and flew far away, shouting, "Stop attacking, or your poison will spread, and I won't be able to save you. Go!" Whoosh, Chen Tianxian, Jun Hongye, and the others hurried to catch up. They dared not to waste any more time with Lu Li. Just now they could barely contain the toxins. If the toxins were to spread, not even immortals could save them. Whoosh, Luli followed in the wicked bead. While flying, Yengu used the bead in his hand to detoxify Chen Tianxian. The rest of them impatiently followed. Their faces were filled with anxiety and fear. They ate the antidote pills in their hands as if they didn't exist. Finally, a semi-god realm warrior could not stand it any longer. He fell down all of a sudden. He was trembling and tumbling on the ground, smashing into the mountains. Yengu took a look, but did not pay attention to the semi-god realm warrior. Yengu knew that the warrior could not be saved. The toxins had entered his soul pond. Even if he could be saved, he would be an idiot. Yensei, come here! Yengu yelled. After he detoxified Chen Tianxian, he would help Yensei at once. Jun Hongye and the others were injured as well, but Yensei was a powerful warrior of the Yen family. Bang! Luli smashed away a semi-god realm warrior with the wicked bead and then released Featherwind to interfere with the warrior's movements. The semi-god realm warrior was terrified. Because of Luli's actions, the toxins had spread all over his body. Not even immortals could save him. Whoosh! The wicked bead flew over. This time, Luli's target was Jun Hongye. As long as he could stall Jun Hongye for a while, this warrior at the peak of the semi-god realm would die. Unfortunately, Jun Hongye was fast. The wicked bead tried to smash at him but could not catch up. Luli had to target a warrior at the middle stage of the semi-god realm. Which universe was he from? Boom! The warrior at the middle stage of the semi-god realm was smashed away. Luli released some feather wind and left it alone. He went after Yengu and the wicked bead. Yengu was too fast, and the wicked bead was not fast enough. Otherwise, if the wicked bead could interfere with Yengu's rescue, all those who had not been detoxified would die. Bang! Dozens of miles later, Luli finally smashed away another warrior at the peak of the semi-god realm. This warrior was deeply poisoned, and his abilities were compromised. That was why he was knocked away by Luli. This warrior must be a family patriarch in the Neverland universe and was not valued by Yengu. Otherwise, he would have been detoxified and Luli would not have taken advantage of him. Alas, such a shame. Luli used psychic power to check. He felt sorry. The rest of the semi-god realm warriors must have been detoxified. Even if they were wounded, Luli could not kill them. This time, God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer were successful. 3 warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm and 3 at the middle stage were killed. There were only 8 semi-god realm warriors left. Apart from the 7 at the peak of the semi-god realm, Yensei was the only one at the middle stage. Of course, it was not all thanks to God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer. If Luli had not taken the initiative, many would have been saved. Luli sighed. He flew back in the wicked bead. He wanted to discuss with God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer to see if there was a better way to kill the other warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm. What? When he flew back to the valley, he noticed that the statues of God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer had all exploded. The might of God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer had disappeared. Clearly, their avatars were gone. Li family patriarch? Luli remembered the warrior at the peak of the semi-god realm that ambushed him. Did he take the chance to crack the statues of God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer? Or did God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer use too much force and the statues could not stand it? Either way, Luli could not borrow strength from God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer anymore. He had to find another way. He thought for a while and released Feather Wind to check an area with a radius of 3 miles. Making sure that Li family patriarch was not hiding nearby, Luli dashed into the cave and activated the teleportation formation to go back to the demon-slaying city. While the warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm were recovering, Luli planned to go back to the demon-slaying city and find a way to kill dozens of warriors at the initial stage and middle stage of the semi-god realm. God of Barbarian and God of Sorcerer could no longer borrow strength, but Luli had another ace up his sleeve, Emperor of Heaven Reverse, a mighty warrior in the divinity. If Emperor of Heaven Reverse exerted his full strength, he could send an avatar down to kill the other warriors at the peak of the semi-god realm. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.